Welcome! Welcome everybody to the stream for the 10 years anniversary of FEZ. We have quite a program today. We'll start with some fun arts. We'll continue with some community interaction stuff. So there is a Kahoot, an /place recap, because we did our /place. And it was quite the experience. We'll have some music, customly made music by a bunch of people and an interview with a big guest that's coming today. And we'll have some Q&A with the guest. We have some introduction with other games, sorry, and some fun games of FEZ. We have we'll present FEZ Maker and FEZ Toll. We'll have some presentation from 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘅, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name, about FEZ and how he did it. And we have a presentation of a special project called FEZ Club that's coming, and then a speedrun. And then we'll be over. That's the plan for today, so grab your snacks and relax. And we'll start with some fun art. I'm actually in a voice chat with a bunch of people. And yeah, I'd see the comments. I'm quite happy that you're all here for the stream. And we'll start with some fun arts of a bunch of people that we assemble with, yeah, the community. So I will describe every fan art that's coming one after the other, and then we'll be on our way. So the first fan art is actually by 𝗀𝗀𝘂𝘅. Hold on, I think fan arts. Alright. Oh yeah, bro, hold on. Alright, so the first fan art is by 𝗀𝗀𝘂𝘅. He wanted to be a little sus with his fan art, and he did an 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗃. Didn't want to say anything more. Yeah, really dig it. We can see the little 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃 on the platform. If you want to talk about the fan art, actually I can screen share my screen. But if you want to talk about the fan art, you totally can. A screen share is your best, you won't have the sound. I'm talking to the guys in the Discord voice chat. The second fan art is by Alex. I actually use that for the... I actually use that for the introduction scene, because there's a bunch of assets. It's very useful, so thank you, Alex. And it's a very cool fan art with all the characters from FEZ, with jumping 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘀𝘅. I mean, not all the characters, but all the animals at least. I think they're all here. The next one is from Balancing Electrons. We actually have two fan art from him. I mean, fan art. Art is a vast topics, and this is a paper cube that is actually hot glued, and he actually used them during his playthrough of FEZ, so that's really nice. And we've got a second one by him, and it's Ice Sprite, I believe. Ice Sprite of a section with a bunch of different things from the game, so we can see the elders in the background, and I'll say overworld, but that's Minecraft that's coming to me. But yeah, we can see 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘀𝘅 and a bunch of cool stuff. So the next one is from 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘅, which did this really cool fan art. He drew it actually pixel by pixel on Ice Sprite, so there is no model used. I mean, there is a model, obviously, I think, but there is no copy-paste in this one. It looks really cool. The lighting is really creative. Yeah, I believe it did 2 of those. Yeah, this one is a bit zoomed in on a cute little sleeping 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘅. Yeah, really cute. And of course, a 10-year anniversary text. Alright, this one is actually by me. Yeah, I'm auto-promoting. Yeah, it's a falling 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘅 on, you know, those platforms that are so hard to navigate. Yeah, I show FEZ to one of my friends, and because she kept falling over and over, I just drew this. This one is by GTSF. I'll read the description he gave me. Boyfriend and girlfriend went into a world that is all about polygons, and while they were there, they came across 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘂 and his companion Dot. I simply drew this for fun because there are no FNF and FEZ crossover art yet. So yeah, there is a little story, and it's really cool. We can see Dot in the background on the left. The F in FNF is for FEZ, yeah. It is confirmed. So the next one is by 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗂𝘅, because I have no idea how to say it, actually. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. He drew, I think he edited that, 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘅, alright, 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘅. Yeah, he drew that from I believe it started from a joke of the server. Alright, I'll put the background music a bit. Yeah. Alright. I believe it started on a joke on the servers because we kept going up and up in the number. Now we are at FEZ 1664, so yeah. Alright, the next one is by 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘅. It's a mashup of a bunch of different characters in a FEZ setting. FEZ 69, yeah. And they are all here. We can see Celeste, we can see Sans from Undertale, we can see Mario, and I don't actually know the other one. We can see the character from FEZ, I believe, in the top left corner, small little FEZ character on the pole. But yeah, really interesting fan art with a lot of things to look at. The next one is still by 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘅. It's 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘅 looking at the Konami code. Right. And the last one is also by 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘅. And it's a 10-year anniversary screen with I believe some Easter egg on the left with the text that I'm pretty sure a fan can translate. But I'm not. I haven't done it, sorry. So the next one is a GIF by 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗲𝘅, if I don't mistake it. It's a gift he made with a friend of his. Yeah. Cool GIF. Looping.
It just says happy 10 years.
Happy 10 years. Oh, alright. Oh yeah, the text on the thumb, right? Thumb. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I've remembered to have translated that, but alright. The next one is a... Oh, sorry about that. It's rotated.
Oh yeah, that's let's just pretend the instead of rotating sideways, it rotated in a different axis.
Yeah, it's
But
FEZ.
yeah.
It's 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘅, you just look at it from different perspective. Yeah, it's actually by Onion Dog. No, Plantix. Yeah, Plantix.
That's
sorry.
mine.
Yeah, it's yours. Well, good job on that. We can see 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘅 on platforms with an anti-cube, a cube, and a little flower. Oh no, it's a love. It's a love.
It's a love cube.
Love cube. Yeah, sorry. I thought it was flower for a second. But yeah, really cool fan art.
Yeah, while 𝗀𝗂𝘂𝘂𝘂𝘂 is 2D, everything else is 3D.
Yeah.
Just like the game.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, I'm putting... Oh shit, oh no. Oh no. What am I doing? That is the wrong one. Alright. The next one is by Premium. Premium did some Blender art with the official asset. Yes, this one represents a... I mean, where should I describe it? It's fairly obvious. It's jumping Gomez on a cube, really cute, with some nice texturing and light. And we also have this one, which I made a long time ago. The text read Premium. I did translate this one. It's actually his username, so yeah. Really cute 3D one. And the last one is one of my favorite of his, the 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅. Yeah, he actually did use the official asset for those, and yeah, actually it's a good lamp, you know.
For sacred geometry.
Yeah, a sacred yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me... Right. This one! Red Luminous, you're here!
Yes, that's mine. So this is a rendition of the sprite that we used in the r/place canvas. And I made it using my collection of 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗀𝘂𝘅, which is a really fancy name for bread clip. And these particular clips are banned in some places of the world, so that you may not recognize them, but in a lot of places we still have them. They're just plastic clips that steal your bread. And these particular clips are banned in some places of the world, so that you may not recognize them, but...
I'm muting you. Please fix your mic. Alright. Right, well, Stendrava! Woo! Alright, I'm unmuting you. Because we had an echo, that's why.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm unmuting you. Alright, I'm going to mute you for now, and I just talk, and it's fine, it's fine. So that's a collection of painting that she did that are incredible. By the way, Stendrava did a lot for this stream. Like, there is a bunch of art, a music cover from her, and there is also the final gift from her, so it's absolutely sick. So yeah, there is a bunch of different settings for those painting. So this first one is observatory, then bye for some reason. So the first one, well, that's alright. Okay. So this first one is observatory. That's I forgot really the name of this section. Can somebody help me with this?
I'm pretty sure that's just the music room.
Alright. Yeah, it toggle on off, right? I think it is. Sync room, alright. Then we've got some cities. The grave plaque. We've got some nice sunset on the beginning section. We have the waterfall. Yeah, I think actually there is... Alright. So I think we've done them all, right? No, I'm missing the oil. I'm missing some. Where am I missing some? Yeah, I'm missing the nail polish. Oh, I'm missing a lot. Why am I missing so much? Hold on. Yeah, I'm missing... Yeah, I'm going just to reload my folders. This shouldn't happen. I'm really sorry. Alright, let me scroll through those fast. Alright, so that was the first one. Right? Alright, onion! So that's some merch from Onion Dog that he did with some, I believe, I forgot the name of those things, but that I believe that's the thing that you put together and then you cook it and it solidifies in some kind of strange patterns. So yeah, you actually have some more merch from the FEZ. And he also has some fun covers. So yeah, really cool stuff. Right. I'm going to scroll back to the right. I'm going to screen share my screen because I think it's easier since I have no idea of showing it otherwise. For some reason. I did test it and it did work, but now it doesn't for some reason. Alright, so that's all the fan art we have, and I believe we stop here on Sandrova. And the next one is a clock tower that she did like this week. So really nice stuff. And we also have the oil painting that is a bit bigger than the other one. And we also have some nail polish from her. Really cool stuff. A lot of small details, which take a lot of patience, I believe. We also have, still from Sandrova, because she can draw in multiple styles, some digital, really nicely done art with some nice shading and some rain. Really cool stuff. And we also have this one that I nearly used for the ending screen, but actually I didn't for some reason, which is Gomez and Astor. No, I forgot his name. 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝘅, yeah, that's right, 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝘅, on the sunset, sharing sometimes. Right, last person to go is ZipZip. He did an abstract collection of some Gomez related design that features a bunch of characters. So actually he didn't plan to do those designs for the 10 years anniversary of FEZ. He actually did it for another project of his, but he transformed the design to be for the 10 years anniversary. I haven't forgotten the videos, don't worry. That's another design from him. Another one in the trees. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's good artwork, right? This one that even featuring a bit of Mario action, let's go. And this one, which was inspired by IASK, and it was inspired by the pipe section in FEZ. And this one. Yeah, I believe that's it. So that's it for photo fan arts. And now we have two small videos, actually. Okay. So the first video is by 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝘂𝘅, or Little Kaisers, and it's Alright, sorry for speaking on it, but yeah, it's true, we are already so late on the schedule. So that was by 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝘂𝘅, really cute animation. And the next animation is by 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘅360, and it's actually a looping animation, I believe, with no music. Right, I mean, it didn't loop, but okay, I'm sorry, I put it again. Yeah, so it's digital art, experimental GIF with Blender, a bunch of cool effects, and Monster Mash. I definitely want to make more art like this. Well, thank you for 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝑅 for sharing, and now we'll move to the next section, which is the Kahoot. Let's see how well do you remember about FEZ. So, for those who don't know what Kahoot is, it's a quiz that you can take online. We actually have a limited number of places. We are only limited to 10 people. Right, I cut the music, sorry about that. Yeah, we are limited in place. I'm going to show the Kahoot now. And you can all collect. So I'm putting the language in English, by the way, because I'm French, for those who don't know. English, alright. Right, so you can join by, either by going into 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘂𝘅 and entering the PIN code. Yeah. So there is a bunch of questions. Some are really hard, some are quite easy. Yeah. We are... There can only be 10 people, so... Right, I think, I believe. Let's see who's the last person to join. I mean, you can still play Joe. Oh, hi. So... Oh, no. We're not limited by 10 people. Let's go. Alright, so join. I think we're limited by 20 people then. Of course, Among Us is the first one to join. True. It always was. Are we full? Is 15 people the maximum number? I'll start in 10 seconds. Oh, we're not full. Right, so the link is 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘀𝘅 and you just enter the PIN code on the top and you enter your username and you're ready to go. So for those who don't...
It's Kahoot.it.
𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘀𝘅. I thought it worked on 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘀𝘅. Right? Oh no, oh, I'm terribly sorry. It's 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘀𝘅, yeah. Yeah, it is. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright, so I'll start now. Start. Alright, first question. Welcome to the Kahoot. So it's... In what platform order was FEZ published? I'll put it on top left. Right. So you have to select your answer on your screen. And you got 30 questions by 30 seconds by each question. Alright. Alright, so yeah, it was computer first before PlayStation. Right, so the first one is Dango. Next question. Right. I believe that's... We'll start with some easy questions, but there will be some really difficult questions later on. And we also have some tricks.
Wait, there are two the same. There are two of the same. Oh no.
Oh no.
Which
really?
one is it?
Really? Oh yeah.
If I got
Oh,
this wrong,
sorry.
I'd be so mad because I only chose the right one.
Oh no, I think... Oh no. Alright.
Pick the wrong 209.4 and you lose.
I'm sorry about that. I'm really
Oh
sorry
my god.
about that. Oh,
Pick the wrong other way, it doesn't matter.
I chose the square.
And
Which
that-
one? They are both squares.
Yeah. That's
One is just like
Yeah,
Oh.
I should have do it more.
Oh.
I mean, I did a test run, but okay. Alright, I'm sorry about
It's fine,
this.
it's fine.
Alright, so... we do a little trolling, yeah. Indeed.
A mild amount of tomfoolery, if you will.
Hmm?
Oh god, no!
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I gotta get my
I
freaking
mean,
notepad
you,
out.
you've got more time on this one. I've got a
Okay.
whole minute.
It's not even yeah.
Yeah, it's left to right, top to bottom. It's not. Sorry. Well,
I already know the language.
that's useful. All right.
Okay, Bob, I just picked a random one.
Take 10 seconds left. You can actually guess which one. Yeah, I know this isn't how the text show up in the game. It's not. Yeah, it was 9. We can see because the last 1 actually spell 9, and it's
Because there was
these
9 of
2
them.
later as the same. Yeah, I had to tilt my head. All right, stop it. Yeah. Why is it showing 8 here? Oh, because it's a number of the. Alright. Alright, True Plantic still at top. Alright, how many Steve achievements? I actually didn't know this one before I looked it up. Because I didn't really play it on Steam, I only played on Epic Games because I had it for free.
Oh, it's... Yeah, I got this one wrong.
Alright, it was 12.
Does checking the Steam site count as cheating? Like your
Yeah.
gameplay library?
You can always double check because...
I checked after I did it, but I mean...
Alright.
Just happened to have
True
the
or
site
false?
open.
His name is FEZ. And for those who don't know...
True, it is.
For those who don't know, I actually use the sprite from 𝗀/place, which, yeah, it's coming right after. His name is Adventure. Alright, there is one person who got it
Wait,
wrong.
he's just... you don't know. His hat might
That's his name.
identify as a person, and it might be called
Yeah.
Fez.
His real name is Gomez in the game. Who got it wrong? I'm really curious now. Alright. And what is his name? I actually said it before in the stream.
Fuck! When the
Oh
question
my-
said his, I assume it was referring to Gomez.
Oh no.
Oh,
No, there is an image. I mean, I'm not doing
that's a bait.
I'm not
I-
doing twice the same question.
You did a little trolling there.
Yeah, alright.
There goes my streak. We got
had a
baited.
Read the question. It's actually
there's
Giza. Oh my
two-
god,
there's-
there's so many people choose Gomez.
There's a total of 2 characters with fezzes in this game, as far as I know. And it's
I mean,
Geezer and
There
Gomez.
was
There is the elders.
He's not
too.
here, but he's there.
Yeah, true.
He's always watching.
That changed a lot. I didn't expect people to get baited on this one. I'm sorry. Alright, don't get baited twice, please.
I wish I was home by the time this started.
Alright, 2
My internet
seconds.
cut
It's
out
actually
3
Zach.
minutes.
Was that
Before we
ever
started,
stated in
and I got
game?
terrified that
Yeah.
it wasn't going to come back.
I believe it is. And I've looked the wiki,
Like-
to be honest.
Also, I'm pretty sure isn't it like when you talk to characters, it includes their name?
Does it? I didn't know.
I thought it did.
Well,
It
'Cause,
probably
like,
does. I don't really pay
When,
attention.
because
So
when
the
Dot talks to you, I
source-
think it says
the-
Dot.
the source is the wiki, so I don't know how the wiki got it. I'm probably by looking at the file, to be honest, but
Yeah, it's probably under the file name, like the animation bit or something.
yeah,
Mhm.
alright. Next one. That did a lot of changing. Alright. Another name question, let's go! Yeah.
His name is FEZ.
Oh yeah,
Well,
oh
you
sorry,
two got
yeah,
that again.
actually.
This is a scam. The
Actually,
correct
yeah,
answer is not
You
on
know,
there.
I learned that this was a she. Like, really.
Oh yeah, because her sacred
To be
geometry.
honest, I always thought it was 𝗥𝗲𝘂𝘅. I have no idea why, but I always thought it was 𝗥𝗲𝘂𝘅.
I genuinely thought it was bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I didn't put that, but
Alright.
I'm pretty sure Dot states
Is
its
it
name
over?
at the start
Actually,
of the
no, there
game.
is more question.
it does,
Alright.
yeah. Oh,
Well,
oh.
I guess it's
I had
over.
half from the people on the podium. Okay.
Alright, the first one is... Man, I have no idea what that is. I know Zip and TruePlanetics, but I have no idea what that is. So there is some more question actually. I didn't thought it will stop at 10 question.
I remember us making 15 or 14. Did you forget to save that version?
No, I did.
You
So
know
I have
technical
no idea
skill right
where
there.
it's going. I believe there is a limit on Kahoot on the number of questions you can.
The limit I think is probably like 50.
I think the limit is 50 because I've seen some free ones made by
I've
teachers as well.
I've
They've had
seen-
like 25.
Yeah, I've had ones with like 30 questions.
Should I try to put on the rest of the question?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Kahoot number 2, Electric Boogaloo.
let's go. So there is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's strange. All right. So there is. The rest of the question was removed. Oh no, it wasn't. All right. Or maybe I didn't save actually, but I thought I did.
If it's not there, it's probably because you might have forgotten to save it.
Yeah, but it's actually still there on the Kahoot page. So that's good.
That's
Do we get our own FEZ if we won?
oh 3D and actually like woven fez. Just
That'd
shipped
be
out to you
amazing.
from France.
Wait, since we are like three-dimensional creatures, does the FEZ make us four-dimensional?
You can see the
maybe
fourth
four
dimension. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
that's what fezzes were made for. Like that is it's
Alright.
just
They allow you to see in one extra dimension.
yeah, depending on your current dimension. Like a fourth dimensional being would then see the fifth dimension.
You Kahoot.
Yeah.
Alright,
Did
so
you notice the
we'll
size
skip
of the
we'll
massive
skip
schlong? You
the
actually need
first
to be able to see in the
question.
fourth dimension.
Alright. So I'm sorry about that.
I am speed.
Yeah, I said that. Actually, so there, I will skip the first question that we already did. So the reason it didn't save it because
Oh, the
I
code just
haven't
straight up doesn't
paid.
work for me.
I haven't paid the version.
It's, I guess
And
there is
there
a
was
limit on
one question
non-payment.
with images, which was what is the album cover, and that question wasn't able to save, and that's why it didn't save.
That makes sense.
All right. Oh, Phil, join us. Alright. I'll
Who
start
knows?
and I'll skip some questions.
Didn't most of them have images though, or is it the actual response?
No, the
I think
response
it's
are
this
images.
response.
Yeah, the response was images. Nice.
Ooh, we know all the answers now as well.
I'm sorry, but I'll skip then. Oh, who's getting points?
I
They
am.
were fast
I've got
enough.
points.
They were
How?
fast enough.
How? No. Why? No, 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 stop
Oh,
it.
same
Stop
spot.
it.
Oh,
Bugger, you're too fast for me now.
Just spam click it a bit.
Yeah, I'll try my best. Alright. 2000 lead point. Alright.
oh, that's a new one.
Surely all of them are, because they're all.
Yeah, wait, this
Yeah,
one.
because 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅 and 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝘅 both have feathers, and then hexahedron and dot are both in the third dimension.
Yeah, it's actually.
Wait, isn't
Oh,
this
it's
like?
It's a freebie.
Yeah,
It's a freebie.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright.
Oh, stream paused. Oh god, I'm.
Oh, no, don't respawn yet.
There's
Don't
there's
respawn.
a-
I'll put the music. Don't respawn. Hold on.
He has a long
actually, where is
timer
it
on this one.
coming from? I have no idea where is my music coming from. Hold on, this is not this music.
I listen to most of the FEZ OST, and like these are like 4 of like the 6 I
Alright.
don't listen to.
What is this music?
Is it playing on the actual stream?
Yes, it is.
Fuck.
I was using the Discord stream, it's just easier.
There you go.
I can't hear it.
It's
Oh.
on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, the Twitch stream is delayed for me.
So it was pressure. Guys. Alright. No, it's music from the actual OST, so yeah.
Yeah, that's from the
Oh,
soundtrack.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
that one lava place
Yeah.
Yep.
in the sewers.
Oh no, I'm skipping this one. Ooh.
Oh, it's that one.
Alright, I'm skipping it too.
Oh no, I misclicked.
Alright.
Oh.
Hmm. These are three of these like my favorite songs. I can't remember which.
I know it so well.
Yeah, you did submit the question, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's
It's
feel
a
like-
little bit.
it gives you a bit
little
of an advantage.
But this
just a
is
bit.
but this is still one of the first one of the early
Yeah.
rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Beacon actually on this one.
yeah. I know it was what the
Compass comes earlier, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's the Among Us Joker's
Alright,
winning.
this I believe is a hard one.
Oh fuck! I missed.
Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
I clicked the wrong one too.
No, it will take from later.
It's
Like
I
the
know,
name
I
in
clicked the
code.
wrong
Whatever.
I know I clicked the wrong one. My because I
Code
went to click
name.
one and I missed. I moved and clicked the other.
If I remember right, we did it code names, like the names from the code.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
realized
it's
I got that
actually
one because
Crypt.
I've gone digging through the code and stuff.
Actually, door is not the name of a room, I believe. Kran is, I think, I'm not sure. Alright.
Among Us joke better at least come top 3.
So I believe this one is the hardest question.
Oh, this one is really hard.
Good luck.
Oh, fuck.
This one is really hard.
I've gone digging through the files and even I don't know this. I mean, I supplied the textures and bloody hell.
Yeah, people think this one is really easy.
Pray to the owls, it works.
And
Pray to the owls. Pray to her sacred geometry.
Alright.
The 64-bit name of God.
Alright, so it was Quantum actually. Yes. The name of the music
Yeah.
name is Glitch, but the actual name of the room is Quantum.
File. Yeah. I'm fairly
reason I
certain
clicked
they
that is 'cause that was-
probably
Alright,
did.
so that
They,
doesn't
they
mean
probably they probably named it that.
Oh,
to,
and
like,
Yeah.
they probably named it Quantum to probably help stop glitches.
Let's go! Among Us joke
anything. Oh, let's
wins!
go, sus!
Let's go!
That's very
Oh.
sus. That's very sus.
Oh.
Alright.
Suspicious Among Us.
Alright, so we'll switch over to the r/place community recap. Well, as probably many of you know, we actually did r/place, and that is the reason this Discord server exists actually. Oh shoot, no more music. I'll put it back, don't worry. Alright, so we actually did r/place. I think it's quite interesting to do a recap of what we did. So I'm going to launch our r/place because there is now an opportunity for us to view and see what we did and what happened. Alright. So I'm going to join the other voice chat for r/place discussion. No, actually, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. So that's our little Gomez that we did with blood and tears.
Oh my god, it was such a fight.
Yeah, it was really a fight. So I believe the best idea is to come back from the start and see what we did in order. Because it actually started on a Reddit post when the canvas was doubled the first time. Around here. Someone with some friends made a sleeping Gomez over here. On the over here. on the left of this flag. Hold on, it's coming, and here it is.
There he is.
Little sleeping Gomez with his hat coming right after. Alright, so that wasn't really coordinated by anyone, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't.
Yeah, they just did some sleeping Gomez and it was cleaned pretty fast.
Because it's on the Dutch flag. The moment the Dutch woke up, they went, "Oh fuck," and just cleaned their territory
Yeah.
back up.
Can't have any references in our flags.
Yeah. But actually, so we start looking for a spot to place Gomez. The first spot we thought about was this one here. We did a smaller version of Gomez and we were trying to see if it will fit, but we've received mixed results. But poof, the canvas went really big one day and we
doubled.
decided to set up here. Here, right. So we started doing our little FEZ and the blue sky, and actually friends did crush us so, by 2 pixels. So we actually need to shift the FEZ by a few pixels on the left. And we did shift it
This was
at the right
right
place.
about where I came in
Yeah,
and started helping.
we did shift it back one day. And we tried some different design. So there was this one, which was one of the first one, with a little cube and the FEZ on top. Then after we've put some runes to our right. Yeah.
The constant eye movement.
Yeah.
It's specifically the left eye that people just didn't know where to put it.
Yeah. So we actually
Once I got a reference up in the Discord server, it started to actually stay where it was supposed to.
stay, yeah. So we actually put the FEZ rooms on the right, and then we actually switch it for a more. We can see the France flag trying to break out of this thing. Right, we did a rune type thing on the right of FEZ of 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘅. And yeah, I must say a big shout out to the Splatoon community for helping us during this /plays and in general all the indie game community, because it was such an amazing job actually. They did a lot to place this 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘅. We were attacked by the void at some point, but it's so specific.
It's coming up now.
It's really specific on the time scale, so I'm not sure I'll actually be able to get it. But yeah. Oh yeah, alright.
There it is.
Yeah. Right, and then the canvas went white. So that was the recap for /plays. Does anyone want to share their experience with that? Yeah? Both?
I'm the one who did the bread clip art from earlier. And on our /plays, we did manage to get a bread clip on there thanks to FEZ and Splatoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was,
Yeah. Oh, where is
yeah,
it?
right under that pineapple. Or lemon.
Under the pineapple.
The lemon. Where the
lemon.
golden egg
Oh, the
was.
lemon.
Yeah. Where that mess
Oh,
is
God.
next to the egg. You had to go like no to the end of the timeline for it.
Alright.
There it
Oh
is.
yeah. Here.
That white thing.
Yeah,
That's the bread
paperclip.
clip.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. And FEZ and Splatoon was the reason we managed to get that on there, because we are a tiny community of bread clip collectors.
Yeah.
But I think that's what made it so exciting and so fun. And yeah, I was so attached to 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘅 by the end of our place because defending him.
You actually did play FEZ after that.
Yeah, after that I bought FEZ, and when he did the pose, I was like, that's him! That's the boy!
Yeah.
My child!
Oh boy.
Yeah, the convergence of small communities coming together to defend themselves and each other was honestly fucking amazing.
That was my favorite part, yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the Titanfall and TF2 conjoined art at the top?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I managed to. That was like two communities coming together. They both need security patch and stuff. I managed to keep Pixel on there for 3 days straight.
Yeah, they barely got touched at all, as far as I know.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘀 also technically gave me a nosebleed because as I was trying to help with I wasn't in the Discord server. I just found 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘀. I dropped my phone on my face. My nose started to bleed.
Like, I was doing stuff with the Netherlands before 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 got up, and essentially I had been just dispatching to friends and stuff outside of the Netherlands community, and as soon as like one of them pinged one of my friends pinged me like, hey, your dude is on the canvas, and I was like, fuck. And immediately scrambled and joined the Discord. Like,
I think
so
by the
fast.
end of it, we had between like Splatoon was generally the hub of all the allies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We had like 15 different communities allied with us by the end of it.
But like,
it was a lot of fun.
I joined, and like, since no one at that night, which I think it was third day, well, third night technically. No one had been taking rain, so I took lead, and that's, I'm pretty sure, part of the reason 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 made it through the night, because I was working hard, man. Everyone was working hard, not just me. I don't want to take any like, yeah, you know.
All right. Well,
it's not a one man show.
We had a little friend on the top. I actually, we had a little friend on the club and it actually disappeared one day. Yeah, it got replaced by some 3D.
Whole 3D.
Yeah, I believe it's a school, an animation school. And there was also this guy who wanted to place an H on the canvas for a lost love, and he actually asked us if we could remove this pixel to make an H for the runes. Well, we did a poll, and the poll result was mixed. But what we did is actually place an H on the clouds. Oh,
That's too far.
yeah, I mean the cloud is kind of here.
The
This
cloud
H.
is like near the end of the entire thing.
Yeah, we did this was his H, and he was really happy about it.
Evil Gomez moment. And the eye
Gomez
isn't
coming
even in
to the
line.
Yeah, this eye is misplaced.
Fetch me his soul, Dot.
One of the things that people love doing the most, well, griefers love doing the most, is to mess up faces. It's specifically faces.
Yeah, because it's easy.
Yeah, I'm
With-
pretty sure there's
Easy and it's
one.
hard to
There's,
repair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with only one pixel you can actually remove an eye. You know,
Yeah.
so it's easy to do, and people tend to do
Yeah.
it.
And I remember
And-
as we were repairing it, someone put the eye in the wrong spot when we
and
fixed it. 'Cause
like there were people who I'm pretty sure were not in the Discord, but who were trying to help.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
part
think-
of
I
that.
don't-
I
I
didn't know
don't
the
think-
Discord
yeah.
existed.
Yeah,
So I was just sitting there with Gomez
yeah,
for a few days.
I don't think they knew where the eye went, so there was a constant war between
Yeah.
the people trying to put that eye in the right spot and people putting it where they think it goes.
yeah,
Right.
that happened with our squid a lot too.
There's one singular pixel on Gomez that is untouched, by the way.
Platoon ended up having 3 different pieces of art that
Oh.
we were managing at the same time, and it was very chaotic.
Mm.
And as I said, they had like 15 allies they also swore to protect, and so they were a big community, but they were spread so thin by the end of it, we were worried we weren't going to get to keep all of it.
Yeah.
Hey, but we all made it.
Yeah, and I think it's incredible. Well,
Yeah.
you know, this community is doing a lot of stuff. And one stuff that this community is making music. And that's my transition.
segue.
Yeah. Nice transition to the music segment, which I'm not going to stay on this voice chat for now, on this segment. But I'm just looking, Arson is here, Zeph is here, Stendrava is here, so I believe they are all here for the music segment, all the people that did a remix. Because, right, so we have a guest. I mean, we have a guest, and the guest is Discursif. And he actually gave me his Discord, and we plan to show him the music, but he's not online. So I do not know what to do. I can try calling him, but since he's not online, I'm not sure it's going to work.
Just push, try calling him, and then if not, push it back and do the next thing.
Should we do the music segment now? Like, just show the music and we'll do the interview right after? Or should we just switch to another segment and wait for Discursif?
Yeah, I think we can wait a little.
Alright, so
I think it's
we'll...
up to the people that did the music, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Stendrava and Zeph, but we'll wait a bit for Discursif to come back. In the
All
meantime,
good.
we've got some fun games and good games to present to you. So let me remove my thing. So you know, there is a FEZ 2 has been cancelled, but there is a lot of games that I feel like are as good, well, are really good compared to FEZ, and made a small video about it, small presentation of the trailers, so I'm going to show that on the stream now. It's 4 trailers of 4 different games. There is 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗂𝘅, Manifold's Garden, and Tunic, obviously. I hope you don't know all of those, because otherwise this video will be useless. But for those who don't know those games, well, here's a video. Good game with similar puzzles, and now we'll move to another game. I believe is Manifold Garden. Really beautiful game. This one is one of my favorite, but actually the trailer was in lower resolution, so I'm sorry, there will be a black border. Right, that's one of my favorite games. And the last one is 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, very recent game. Alright. Well, that was for the trailer. We actually have Discursif. He's online and we'll have to call in for listening to the music, listening to 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅 live cover of a bunch of music. So we'll shift back to the music segment. I'm going to disconnect from this voice chat on Discord and join the private group. And well, I'll join back once we are done with the music segment. Well, let's go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is
Hello.
Rich, aka Disasterpiece.
Hello, Rich.
Hi.
I'm really excited to meet you, actually.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you for being here on the 10 years stream.
Absolutely. I can't believe it's been 10 years. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I am just chilling. Still working on games, and I've been doing some movie stuff. And yeah, just doing
It's really nice.
doing good.
Alright. So, 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘂𝘅, is everything good?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm so nervous. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Oh, don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous, it's fine. You've trained a lot and you know, we're all nice, we don't bite.
Okay, then.
I'm
So-
just here to hang out, and you know, if you guys want some feedback, I'm happy to give some, and if not, that's cool.
Yeah, we,
No
we
worries.
actually have so much questions for you, but I don't know, we are listening now for the remixes or
Yeah, so
think
we'll
so.
start with the remixes. We'll start with 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅 and then the videos that you sent it. And after we'll ask the question if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds great.
Alright, so 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, are you ready?
I think so.
Yeah, don't be nervous, it's fine, it's fine,
Mhm.
don't worry.
Okay. Should I turn on the camera?
If you want to, if your connections allow you to, it will be amazing.
I hope so. I hope.
Alright,
Can you listen?
yeah, it's perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
It's fine, it's fine, don't worry, don't worry,
I'm
it's
sorry.
good, it's good.
very
Well
sorry for
done,
the
well
mistake.
done.
I
Wow.
can't believe.
That was
Yes,
amazing.
Well
That
done.
was
Thank you. Like,
We can-
that's such a
practiced a
challenging
lot.
piece of music.
We can
I could
feel
never
that.
play. I could never play it that good.
Thank you.
We can feel that you are a bit stressed, and it's fun. You know, you manage the stress, so that's really good. You did well.
Also, the arrangement was really nice and really hard. Like you did a lot of switching with hands and stuff to get all the melodies all together.
Thank you very much. It's so hot.
Yeah, it had all the parts in it. It was really cool.
Yeah, good
I
job.
liked it a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's
so
my part to continue then. I
yeah,
guess.
so I have the video, so I'll let you guys watch it on the stream because I can't really screen share it. But I have the flow by 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe I can say a few words before.
Yeah, go on.
So like Flow is one of my favorite tracks of all time. It's like a really special track to me. I love how it builds up from like one note to an entire like symphony, and it all builds up like on a loop and still doesn't get boring at any part. So I really wanted to play this on piano because I love covering songs on piano. But like I struggled a lot with the loud parts, obviously, because you can't play 3 or 4 melodic instruments at the same time with 2 hands only. And yeah, I ended up with this arrangement, and I hope you like it.
Very cool.
Let's take a look. Well done.
Wow. That was really great.
Thank you so much. Also, thanks to everyone in
Very,
chat.
Yeah,
Very
you've got
kind.
so many good messages in the chat.
Yeah, I'm really glad. The cover will be up on my YouTube if anyone wants to check it out,
Yeah.
like tomorrow or so.
yeah.
Awesome.
That was very good arrangement, I can tell.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
And I like how you use some footage of a puzzle and you try to solve it and you solve
I
it.
really sucked at solving it. I don't know if you saw it, but like I
Yeah.
played FEZ. I didn't play it in like 5 years or so, and then I just had to get somehow to the flow section. That was a struggle on its own, and then
Yeah.
fixing the first puzzle. But yeah,
So
it made me wish that I had a computer screen on my piano.
yeah. All right. So actually, I know he's even there, but he did submitted a track for me to play to you. So we'll do Awesome last because it's a big one, a big medley of a bunch of songs. So we'll do it last, but we'll do a track, Beacon by. Yeah, sorry, Stendrova blowing it. All right. So we'll do a track, Beacon, by Mr. Bluru, or also known as David Chan Baker, I think. Either way, the credit will roll on the video. So yeah, let's take a look. All right.
That was awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Really cool.
The artwork, the arrangement, it was also great.
Yeah.
I will have to agree.
Sorry, I was still muted. Yeah, the artwork, the animation is actually from another cover of his. It's from the Glitch cover. And I just put the animation on this one because I thought this animation, it needed to be seen, you know.
Yeah. Do you mean the whole thing or just the intro?
No, just the intro. The
Oh, okay.
little
Cool.
introduction animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody in the chat checked that the dog was well oriented and the background images was actually the right one. How much dedication. And it was. Well, do you have any feedback or not?
I mean, I thought they were all fantastic.
We've
Really got all the all the elements of the songs. They were very true to the originals and very well done.
And
So-
we've got one left. That isn't really true to one song, but multiple, because it's a medley of a bunch of songs. It actually lasts quite a while.
Yeah.
But it's fine, you know. It's worth it. So
Cool.
so yeah, let's hear
So,
the
yeah.
Arsen's cover of the medley for the 10th anniversary of FEZ.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
So yeah, that was it.
that was something.
That was amazing. That was almost the
Thank you.
entire soundtrack in that track.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was doing it I was speedrunning it. I was doing it like 3 days ago. I just started because I wanted to do something for the anniversary, and I just like, hey, what if I do the medley and then at half I just it's a lot of work. And yeah, I yesterday just finished it. It was
Yeah,
2 a.m.
Yeah, at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. But I'm glad I finished it, and
To be
yeah.
fair, I did to finish at 2 a.m. too.
For the vibe and the synth, I was looking at your tutorial. You were like showing how you made the first soundtrack, and
Okay.
so the synth was the massive.
I
And
thought so. I was gonna say the synth work was really spot on for like the sound of.
Because I just saw that you were using Massive for the first soundtrack. I think you were using it for the whole soundtrack, yes?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I just looked at your tutorial, and yeah, I just
Yeah, for those who
That's
don't.
so cool.
For those who don't.
And the way that you use the bit crusher and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
was really
The bit crusher.
accurate to how the game sounds.
Just for those who don't know, Massive is an instrument on FL Studio that we're used to.
No. Massive is the VST. It's let me see. I think
it's not an instrument.
I'll share the link for anyone who wants to check it out.
Yeah. It's very powerful synth. Oh, this. I was using this exactly. It really helped me a lot to get this vibe and the beat crusher. It's really, it makes oh my god.
Yeah.
It helps, to bring the fast style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can share it on the Twitch.
So now the questions, right?
Yeah, now we've got some questions. I'm actually going to show chat on the stream now, because there was so many good messages about everything. About like, chat was so happy about this cover. You did a real good job.
Thanks a lot.
So yeah, we've got a list of questions. Disaster Piece.
Please call me Rich.
Okay.
I see my name on the first question. Maybe I should just go ahead.
Go on.
Yeah, and I mean, I personally have a lot of more questions, I'd say, but I want to start with
it's just a list to help us if we need it.
Okay, so it's 10 years ago, so maybe you don't quite remember, but did you have any major inspirations for the soundtrack, maybe even similar styled games at the time?
That's a great question. I think that, I was sort of coming from doing a lot of chiptunes, and that was kind of my initial thought about how to score the game. It had a previous soundtrack by somebody else who left the project.
Oh, really?
And it was a chiptune type of sound. I actually forgot, I can't remember the name of the person, but some of that music is floating around. You could check it out. We had talked about, I had talked to Phil about it, and that something more ambient would probably work well for the game. And I knew that I wanted to do I wanted the music to be very melodic and kind of thematic and have a little bit of a cinematic quality to it. At the same time, I knew I wanted to do something with chiptunes. So it kind of just went down this path of trying to do something chiptune, heavily inspired by chiptunes that wasn't the typical sort of cutesy aesthetic and try to do something a little different. And that's where like the bit crushing came in and like experimenting with, you know, like making slightly more complicated like patches for like noise sound effects. And then it just sort of like, I don't know, it just kind of came together that way. And the way it came together was interesting and fun because, you know, most of the tracks in the game are very simple, like, you know, one instrument or maybe two or three, like it's very simple. I mean, a lot of like the, I guess the sound or the effect of it just comes from taking those like one or two instruments and trying to make them really like expressive sounding. So like
process the hell out of it.
Yeah, so like when, you know, like in Beacon when the chords are all like pitch bending and stuff, like that's a good example. That was like the inspiration for that was sort of like surf rock, because it was sort of like a watery track, and I thought it'd be fun to just kind of start messing with pitch. And then messing with pitch ended up being like one of the sort of the cornerstones of the whole thing.
Did I get you right? Did you just drop an inspiration there, like surf rock? Was that a name of? Or did
It's like, yeah, surf rock, like the genre.
Oh, it's a genre. I didn't even know.
Yeah, or like Hawaiian music, or just like pitch bending chords and stuff was like a small, you know, it was a small inspiration. Definitely like Flow, the track Flow, like that's totally inspired by Steve Reich, the minimalist composer. There's a lot of impressionism like influence in the music, like so music by Debussy and Ravel. And then I went even further down that rabbit hole when I worked on Hyperlight Drifter. And then, you know, just the stuff that I listened to growing up. So, you know, lots of prog rock influences and other video game soundtracks, especially like Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
We've got a question from Trainboy on the chat. What's your favorite album of yours?
Oh, my favorite album of mine. I have a soft spot for a bunch of them. I tend to like the ones that are a little bit under the radar, and there's a couple like that are under the radar and but I think are pretty good. One is Level, which is one of my earlier like chiptune albums. It's sort of like a proggy sort of concept album. Another one is this game that I worked on at the same time as FEZ called FEZ. And it's sort of like a dungeon FM synthesis type stuff. It's almost like a early 90s kind of inspiration. So like medieval fantasy kind of music. And some of the music that I wrote actually for FEZ and FEZ, I had like almost switched and put it in the other game. So it's sort of like the sister soundtrack to FEZ in some ways.
That's crazy. Can you maybe drop the names of those? Oh, I see it in chat already, but like FEZ. But when you, yeah, it's all right.
The track,
so, you know,
the track Nocturne, the track Nocturne from FEZ was actually a track that I was going to put in FEZ, and I ended up putting it in FEZ.
All right. Stendrova, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, so did you have any other dream job other than becoming a musician?
Yeah, I actually started as more of a graphic designer. That was my first sort of like passion and interest. My mom is a graphic designer, and so I was always around like computers, and you know, she was always working on stuff, and I kind of like, you know, I kind of learned like layout software like Quark Express and like, you know, Photoshop and all those stuff just from kind of being around her. And then when I was a teenager, I got really into making websites and logos and stuff. So I actually went to college for graphic design first, and then I dropped out to do music. And I still really enjoy doing like visual art. So I usually do like a lot of visual art for my releases and that kind of thing.
Wow, interesting.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah.
I believe you already responded to you already responded to Arsen's question. He asked what happened that you were responsible for the OST.
Oh, for FEZ.
Yeah.
I was a part of this collective of musicians who played shows called Boston 8-Bit, and we were based in Boston, in the U.S. And we got invited to play a show in Montreal at this show called Toy Company, and we drove up there, and Renaud, the programmer for FEZ, was at the show, and I met him afterwards, and got to talking about the project, and they were interested in bringing me on, and they were talking about doing the soundtrack as a compilation. Like they wanted to have a bunch of different artists, and I was very like, I guess I was very persuasive in suggesting that it should only be one person, and that person should be me. Yeah, that's I'd been playing shows at that time, and that's they knew like my album level, because this was before even like my last chiptune album, Rise of the Obsidian. Well, I've done a couple of things since then, but that's like that was my last like full length album before I really got into doing soundtracks. So it's pretty early on for me, and definitely it changed my entire life. So it's pretty cool.
So I feel like FEZ soundtrack was definitely like a big, well, you call it change, but like a startup for your music career.
Yeah, at that time I had been doing soundtracks and writing, like doing music for hire for like probably 6 years at that point. And I just I had just gotten out of college, and I had some other things going on. Like I was actually working on this game called 𝗀𝗰𝗂𝘅 at the same time that I was writing music for FEZ, and it was an in-person job. So I was working at this studio in Cambridge, Massachusetts called Demiurge Studios, and I was doing like robot sound effects, and I did like a kind of like a southern guitar bluesy kind of metal kind of like music for it. So I was doing two like very different things at the same time, and kind of just figuring out that I didn't really like being a studio, like working at a game studio, like every day, and being responsible for all the sound effects, and it wasn't entirely my thing. So I think I forgot the question though. What was the question?
But I think the question was whether you felt like FEZ was a big career startup for composing game music. So,
yeah, I mean, even all of that being said, like the FEZ was the first project I worked on that was really successful. So it opened up a lot of opportunities for me that I wouldn't have happened otherwise. And it opened up opportunities for me to work in film. When I worked on the movie It Follows, I mean, that was directly because of FEZ, because the director really liked FEZ and put FEZ music in his movie to like
so
test it out.
Really?
Yeah.
That is history of the It Follows. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you listen to the soundtrack for It Follows, there's like 2 tracks in there that are very FEZ inspired. There's actually a bunch, and I tried to change them as much as possible to get away from that, but there are 2 that are very, very, very similar. Like the title track is pretty similar to Death from FEZ, and then there's one, I think it's called J, and that one's very similar to Forgotten, because the director was really in love with those tracks, and I had to try to outdo those and do something different and get him to like it, and it was challenging.
All right. Well, do you put your milk before or after the cereal?
I don't eat cereal, but I put milk in my coffee.
Before or after the coffee?
It depends on what kind of drink you're getting.
All right. Okay.
Actually, I was just kidding. I didn't think any people would put their milk before the coffee, but I guess I don't know enough about coffee then.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about how coffee's made either. I usually go get some. Cheese. I like cheese. Yes.
So
good. Thanks for the question.
There is a question from 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅. Was there any demo track that you made for FEZ that you couldn't have? If so, were those tracks reused somewhere else?
Cool question.
There are like only 2 small things that I made that were like less than 30 seconds long that didn't make it into the game. The first thing I really wrote for it was actually adventure. And it was sort of like, and this has become kind of a big part of my process, which is just to like make inspiration music, like just being, I'm inspired by the project and I just write freely and not really think too much about the form or function of like how it's going to work. And that became adventure, which, it doesn't really have a place in the game, which is why it's the credits music, because it's just sort of like, this is the spirit. This is kind of like the spirit of the game, even though there's nowhere for it to actually live. So that was kind of like what I wrote and sent to them, and I think that's what got them excited about us working together.
Okay. Premium is asking, where does the name Discursif come from?
Yeah, I thought I had cleverly come up with it as a play on Masterpiece, and then I found out later that there was a Slipknot song called Discursif. And
but
I think I was
not
like,
another artist.
Yeah, true. And I was like 17 or 18, and I changed peace. I changed the spelling of peace so that it's kind of like a multi-layered pun. Like it's a play on Masterpiece, but then it's also PEACE, like like peace and calm. So then disaster and peace are kind of like this. There's like a duality there. And I like
born. Oh, sorry. Was it born together with the FEZ soundtrack actually?
The name?
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense because you've published albums before.
Yeah, the name came up. I came up with the name before I wrote any music.
Oh wow!
I wanted to start a band. I would like make artwork. I would like make, I would make logos and stuff. So I made like disaster piece logos when I was probably like 17 or something, before I even wrote any music like under that name.
Really stuck with you with then the name. That's cool.
Yeah, I think I lucked out that I didn't pick something that was too like terrible. I could live with.
Well, Zeph, you have a question.
Yeah, I meant to ask that right now. Do you have the favorite song from the OST? Do you actually still listen to the OST of FEZ?
I do go back and listen to stuff like from time to time, but it's been a long time since I've listened to that album all the way through. I think I really like Beacon. I think that's I just kind of lucked into that. Like I was hanging out with my roommate in college and we were drinking and I was just playing his keyboard and I just came up with this like kind of thing where it's like the same key but different chords at different octaves. Yeah, I don't know. That I really like that piece and how that turned out. That may be my favorite. But I mean, there are a lot of ones on there that I think are really cool. I really like Nature.
Definitely, yeah.
I really like Spirit because that's like a really simple one, but it's like kind of, I don't know. It's very like I really improvised some of those tracks and it was really fun to do that.
Did you compose most of it on the piano? I feel like I've seen you do that in some video or something.
Yeah, I usually sometimes I'll compose like full things on the piano, but a lot of times I just come up with ideas on the piano and then I either use them or I'm inspired by them. For FEZ, like a lot of the music is either stuff that was a sketch, like that I recorded at some point. It had nothing to do with FEZ, and then I kind of just went through my stuff and I was like, oh, I think this would work, or I think this would work for this area. But then there were some that I wrote on the spot, which were usually with a keyboard. I might play a little bit and then, I might get in there and, tweak a melody or, tweak things. But I tried to play a lot of that stuff in.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I believe we've got more questions. Well, who wants
so
to...
yeah,
I mean,
I was thinking, what was the hardest song to make? how was the hardest thing?
What is the hardest song and the easiest song to make?
Yeah, right.
That's a great question. Let me pull up the soundtrack and just look at it for a second. I'll tell you. So, I mean, probably like maybe Love. That just came together really quickly, or like what else came together pretty quick? Yeah, I'd say Love is probably the simplest one. I mean, it's literally just me playing a part on the keyboard. So, the hardest might have been Progress. I really had this really ambitious idea for that track, where I was gonna have all these different sections, because that area of the game with all the kind of the factory stuff is like very big, and so I had this very like convoluted idea about having all these different sections of music that like branch and change between night and day, and so it was like a very complicated kind of implementation of music.
Yeah, I really wanted to check if there is another, this you tell the these different sections. I was searching if there's the whole track with these sections included, because in the game there is so much more in this track, as you said.
Oh, I think I mean, it's possible that I missed something. I think I tried to include at least a little bit of every section of it, but I think sometimes, like when I'm making the game soundtrack version, I'll crossfade between two versions, and so there might be like that's why on the remix album, the FZ album, there's like I think I added like a version of Forgotten that's at night, I think,
the night version,
and stuff like that. So yeah, it's tricky to get all of it, fit all of it onto a song, and it not sound like way too long. But I tried to be more thorough about that, like on future projects. Like that's why Hyperlight Drifter's soundtrack is like 2 hours long or whatever, because I think it's like literally everything I wrote for the game.
Yeah.
And how do you? And how do you do that? Like this track was, the sections was fading out and in the game.
Or did you do that, or did they do that?
No, in the game. For example, in the game, this long track, what it was, how it was working. I'm not good in English. The sections were fading in and out, like the volume.
Yeah.
And you wrote for example, 10 or 6 that will turn on and off in different occasions.
What do you mean by 10 and 6?
How did you make the music system in FEZ? Because I believe you co-writed it, right? So how does it blend out? How does it work?
Yeah, so Renaud, he built the system with a lot of input from me about like things that we could use, and so the primary way that the music works in FEZ is that like it'll have all the layers for a track, and they're all like in sync with each other, and then it's kind of fading between different versions. I think that's the primary way that music works in the game, if I remember correctly.
All right.
But then there's like these one-off systems that we made. There's the system for sync for the what we would call the 𝗀cie𝗰𝗂𝘅, the light up platforms. That was like a special system for like implementing the platforms to be in sync with the music, and then the graveyard has a special system because the music is like triggered within random periods of time, so that you get the sort of effect of like the unpredictability of a storm. And then like there were also some tracks that used a lot more like layers, like the puzzle music is very layer. I think Knowledge might be that way too, where it's like it's layers, and the layers are different lengths and they get triggered at different probabilities of how often. And it changes chords too. Like the puzzle music changes chords. Like every depending on what time of day it is, like it'll go from one type of chord, one harmony to another. So some of the systems are a little bit more complicated than others, but there's a lot of variety in what we did.
Yeah, all right. So 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗲𝘂𝘅 has a question.
Yeah, so are there any sound effects other than the wind and the sound of waves you made? Like not only in FEZ, maybe?
Yeah, I've done a lot of sound design. On FEZ, I did pretty much all the like environmental ambiances, and as a result of that experience, I kind of developed this way of working where, in working with a sound designer, I would still do all the environmental ambiances because it's sort of like the sound of the air. It's like the thing that potentially can clash the most with music. At least the kind of music that I tend to make. So like on Hyperlight Drifter, I also did all the environmental ambiances so that I could kind of control the way that the music and the, wind and those sorts of sounds like interacted together. And it also like it took work off of the plate of the sound designers. They didn't have as much work to do and they could focus more on like, weapons or UI sounds or, footsteps or whatever. I've worked on, the game I worked on when I was working on FEZ, I did all the sound design for 𝗀𝗰𝗂𝘅. I worked on this cool little game called The Floor is Jelly that not a lot of people have played, and I did all the audio in that game. And I think after that, I sort of realized that like doing all of the audio in a game it's something that I aspire to do, but at the same time, it's not always what I would like to do. It's a lot of work to do all of the sound design. I'm actually working on a game right now called Paradise Marsh, where I'm doing all the audio, and it's a lot of work, but it's fun too to kind of like get to think about all the systems and the way everything works together and try to make it really cohesive.
All
Do you
right.
feel like all your plans for all the games you worked on have been developed by the developers just like you wanted? Like especially on FEZ, but I feel like it wouldn't work there.
I think on the smaller games, it's been easier to kind of realize the things that I wanted to do. There wasn't as much pushback or limitations. On bigger projects, it's been harder. Like on Solar Ash, it was challenging. I actually didn't end up writing most of the. I wrote very little music in that project.
Oh really? Okay.
There were definitely things that we built that ended up not making it into the game because they either were things that got cut, or there were like technical reasons for why it had to be toned down. I think my experiences have kind of like they keep pushing me back towards smaller projects because I ultimately want to have a lot of creative freedom to kind of like do the experiment and do the things that I would like to see like in the game.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, and about the Solar Ash, you will do music for the upcoming game, like 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝘅. What is it called? Breaker?
So I'm not involved in that game at all.
No, really?
Yeah, so the people it's a lot of the same people from Solar Ash. Yeah.
I mean, these are creators from the 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝘅, but that's sad to be honest.
Most of the people from Hyperlight, like only a few of us worked on Solar, people who worked on Hyperlight, and
really?
Yeah, the same is true for Breaker. Yeah.
So the studio just split up?
Well, it wasn't really. I mean, it wasn't much of a studio for Hyperlight Drifter because there were only like 9 of us who worked on that, and it was kind of like it was just sort of like a random, like a ragtag group of people, and then for Solar it became like a proper studio, and I think there were dozens of people working on that game at the most, and I think that's continued. So it's now it's like a proper studio for sure.
I'll finish with some fast question with the chat. What was it like to put together Glitch?
Oh yeah, That was really fun. That was really fun because the idea with that track was, okay, I already wrote all these other tracks and I have all of these, I because the game has these music systems in it and I had to render out the music in like stems and sections. I basically just took all of that and threw it into a track, like a new track. And instead of starting from scratch and playing in all these new parts, it was a lot of just audio manipulation. So I had a lot of fun making Glitch.
All right, and
Super fun.
we've got a last question from Zeph.
Oh yeah, right. So I'm a little production nerd myself, and I don't want to get too technical in here, but I was wondering whether there was a production technique that stuck with you over the years, ever since you created that FEZ soundtrack.
Oh, that's a great question. I try to develop a new technique on every project.
Right.
I think on FEZ, FEZ is the first time I think that I really kind of experimented a lot with
Chiptune?
bit crushing is definitely the first time I really started messing with that, although I haven't used that a ton since then. But I don't know, maybe pitch. I got really, I messed a lot with pitch on FEZ, pitch bending, making the pitch go in and out, and that's definitely one of the bigger elements of it. Maybe like the way that I use reverb and delay. I think I developed a lot of that on FEZ, just creating those like big kind of wet sounds that the game has, and also like how you can use a reverb as part of the sound itself as opposed to a space, depending on like how you mix it and how you treat it. Like it can just become a part of the sound as opposed to like, oh, this is a sound in a big room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll finish with any last project you want to share. You're working on.
Yeah, I have a trailer actually for a game I'm working on right now, and I'll post it, and you can post it in the Twitch. Let's see.
I think this is about this bug. I have this.
It's about a bug.
The bugs. I mean, the bug catching game. Yes.
Yeah.
Bug.
Well, I'll show it on stream then, right?
Cool.
All right.
Sure.
Let me do that. All right. Here's the trailer. Really fun.
Yeah. I tried to what I'm trying to do is make all the sounds in the game with synthesizers, like even the footsteps, like everything. So it's been a fun challenge.
Yeah, it really reminds me of the Somewhere OST you done. It has the similar vibe.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Etienne, the developer, he used Somewhere track in the first trailer, and that's how I found out about the project. He had reached out to me to ask for permission to use the song, and I was like, well, actually, Are you looking for someone to work on the audio? Because it looks like a really fun project.
Well, thank you a lot for coming.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Well, you can stick on the stream, but for now we'll move to some fun game section because we have so much waiting us. I'll go back to the VC. Thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well.
Enjoy the rest of the festivities.
Yeah. And you made awesome 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅 and Stendrova days. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Great job on the remake. They were awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was all for the remix section. We'll move to the fan game section. Yeah. Oh, that was something.
Can you stream to the Discord call?
Yeah, we're on the Discord call, and yeah, so you know, FEZ is a great game, and unfortunately we can't play FEZ 2, but what we can play is fan games, and there is a bunch of fan games actually. I'll put on the stream too. Yeah. So the first fan game I'm going to share, I'm pretty sure most of you already know it. It's a fan game called FEZ, which was made by someone that is in the chat. He's explained to me how to pronounce his name, but I forgot, so I just put the 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, yeah, 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, right, sorry about that. Well, well, yeah, here's a trailer for, I've made a trailer for FEZ with some gameplay and the introduction video. Alright, I'll stop here because I have old gameplay of the video, but I'll stop there. Yeah, that's an incredible fan game with only 4 levels, but really cool mechanics. Another fan game I want to share today is a fan game. I don't think that many people know about it. It's called 𝘀𝗀𝘂𝘅. The main page to follow it's on Facebook, and they just released a new trailer. So let's take a look. Alright, so that was 𝘀𝗀𝘂𝘅. So yeah, they are adding a new character, brunette or blondet, I forgot. Which can dash. So they're...
Wait, who made that? Who's that by?
Well, I don't really know the name, so I just credited 𝘀𝗀𝘂𝘅. It's a Facebook page if you want to check it out. Well, now we are going to switch for another fan game called FEZ. And we have the creator in the Discord voice chat. And he's...
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Alright, let me go get my thing shared.
And he's going to make a little presentation.
Alright, is it showing?
Hold on. Yeah, it is, but hold on, I'm putting it in. Bro. Right, I have no idea what's going, but okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Alright, so it's live?
It's live.
We're good to go. Alright, awesome. So, hello everyone. It's 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅 time again. A little talk on the making of FUZZ. So first off, wait, who am I? So, my name is 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅, also known as 𝗀cie𝗰𝗂𝘅, and I'm a game developer and pixel artist. I'm also a big fan of indie games and the 𝗀𝗃𝘅 virtual fantasy console. I'm currently working as a programmer over at Resolution Games in Sweden, but that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to talk to you about a project that I worked on a couple years ago while I was still in college, And that project was where I made Fuzz, which is a Pico 8 demake of FEZ. So a little overview of what this project is. So it's got a bite-sized 8-room world. There's a grand total of 8 qubits and 3 anti-cubes defined. It's got custom puzzles and secrets. It's got an entire alternate alphabet, and the whole thing fits in 41.6 kilobytes. That cartridge image you see in the middle of the screen, that literally contains the entire game code. So I've mentioned Pico 8 a few times, but might not be familiar with what exactly that is. So like I said, it's a virtual fantasy console. This basically means it's a little retro game console that exists entirely on your computer. And it also includes a built-in editor and cart browser. So you can both make and share and play games that people have made in it, which is really cool. As you saw in the previous image, the carts are actually literal PNG images that look like a cartridge, that have the whole cart data stored inside them. And a key feature of Pico 8 is that it's very restrictive, but in a fun way. So the entire screen is 128 by 128 pixels. The sprite sheet is the same size. The tile map is really small. There's only 16 colors you have to work with. There's a finite amount of sound effects and music patterns, and the amount of code you can write is limited in both complexity and length. So naturally, this is the perfect type of thing to try making FEZ in, right? This is just really started as a creative challenge to myself. It's like, is this even possible? And it turns out, yes, actually. But there's a lot of things you have to do first. So yeah, in order to recreate FEZ, I needed to recreate its core defining features. So I needed to have 3D voxel levels that are all interconnected. I needed to have, FEZ's distinctive movement and rotation system. I needed to have FEZ-like puzzles. I needed to have some key aesthetic details that harken back to the original. And of course, I needed to have some secrets and Easter eggs. So let's get started with levels and movement. So there's a big problem with trying to make something like FEZ in Pico 8, and that is that it has no native 3D support. All of the functions and data file stuff are intended for 2D simple sprite drawings, as you draw rectangles and circles and ovals. Nothing 3D. There is no third dimension referenced anywhere. If you want to do anything with a third dimension, you have to implement it entirely yourself. Also, like I said, there's only 128 by 128 pixels available for the whole sprite sheet. If you look at these images from FEZ itself in the upper right here, I think those are about 32 by 32, and that even just those alone would take up a big chunk of that sprite sheet. So I had to find some alternate ways to squish things down. On top of that, like I said, there's that limited palette to work with too. So you can see in the upper right, I have some assets from the game. I had to really find ways to condense and simplify the original art style. And yeah, so to get this to all work in 3D, I had to come up with a whole custom system for it. So basically, the scheme I worked out is I made 16 different tiles, and I had each of them correspond to one of the colors in the palette. And this basically let me draw on the sprite sheet to define the levels I wanted. So if you look at the lower right here, I've got that vertical strip image, and that is showing all the slices of one of the levels, or of a level. And then you can see there's the 3D voxel model that represents, and then the way that looks actually in game. And also notice on the reference sheet I have for like what the different types of tiles are, there's empty, there's floor ones, which are ones you can stand on, there's walls, which are basically just cosmetic and serve as depth blockers, and there's also actor, because things like trees and doors fit into the regular scheme, so I had to have special logic for how to draw them. But yeah, with this scheme, I was able to cram 8 levels, each 8 by 12 by 12, into the sprite sheet alongside all of the other images and stuff that I needed for the game. So cool, now we have a way to store levels, but it wouldn't be FEZ if you can't rotate them. So how the hell are we going to do that? This is literally just drawing little sprites. There's not even like 3D objects. So I was already drawing the world in vertical slices back to front. As you can see, this GIF here illustrates that. I realized I could offset the slices by their distance from the center, based on the distance from the center, and it gives a surprisingly convincing rotation effect. You can see there's an obvious jump when you change orientations, but it works better than you'd expect. And if I add a little screen wipe, it's like magic. It just all of a sudden it tricks your eye and it's like, okay, cool, it just rotated. So yeah, there we go. We have 3D worlds that can rotate. Now we need a little guy to go through them. So 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅, like drawing him was relatively straightforward. I had to just simplify it a little bit and like make them extra small. I also gave him a little mouth in his running animation for a little bit of extra expressiveness and cuteness. But there's quite a few requirements to get a movement system like FEZ 1 to work. You need to be able to stand on surfaces, of course, but only if they are either exposed or one you were already standing on when you rotated. You need to stay roughly in place when rotating so you don't get thrown all around the map and can't actually like platform. You need to be able to walk behind walls if you end up stranded behind one. You need to stay close to the cameras. If you step out from behind a wall, you accidentally then move into view. And you also need to be able to, of course, jump and drop. So, with all this in mind, about 1.5 years later, I had this. So, that is a bit of an exaggeration, sort of. It was only just a couple days of real work getting from the ideas to this, but midway through, I had gotten really stuck and literally took a 1.5 year break to deal with college and other things, and then went back to it on a whim one day and got it working. So cool, we have a fully playable system here, got little worlds to explore, but it kind of needs some puzzles and gameplay to do. So FEZ has a lot of ones you can pick from. I don't have a whole lot of space to fit things in, though, because this is 𝗥𝗀𝘅 we're talking about. So I had to look at what options are available and go for the best bang for your buck. So there's a sort of 2-for-1 special, where there are multiple types of puzzles in FEZ that depend on tracking the player's inputs. So you got those obelisks that have a engraving on them that indicates a sequence of movements, and you also have the tuning forks, which require a certain pattern of rotations. So I could implement one system for tracking the player's inputs and use both of these puzzles with that. Now, there were some extra considerations to deal with. Like, for example, I didn't want players to be able to just use an existing FEZ guide to breeze through the puzzles, which meant I had to come up with my own set of actual symbols, but it had to still function just as well. And like one of the key things is the left and right rotations have to be very visually distinct from the vertical up and down, left, right inputs. I also had to have 2 separate control schemes for the game, which meant I had to have 2 separate variant sets of the symbols too. The tuning forks were relatively straightforward once I had the tracking system in, but when I played FEZ, I played it with a gamepad, so the input for these things was indicated by vibration left and right. You don't have vibration with 𝗥𝗀𝘅. So instead, I use a combination of sound design and the little pulsing effects you can see there to indicate what direction you have to rotate. So those cover a good chunk of the game, but one of the coolest puzzles in FEZ, I would say, is the 𝘀𝗰𝗄𝑅 language. Just this really gorgeous, like intricate text you see scattered all over the world. That at first it looks like just sort of gibberish, but you can find this Rosetta Stone room on the picture on the left here that actually lets you translate all of it, which is really freaking cool, because then you can actually use that to learn about the world and like some puzzles and stuff. And I love that system. However, I do have one gripe with it, and that's that I feel like it's kind of boring having the Rosetta Stone room just tell you everything right off the bat. Like, so once you find that room, you're done. Like, you've translated all the text. I realize the numbers are more complicated, but the text themselves ends up being just solved for you once you figure out how that room works. I instead really liked how Hyper Light Drifter handled it. This game has a very similar language system, but there's no, like, single spot where you can translate it all. Instead, the way I deduced the language in this game was I actually looked at the signs in the town, and just from context of what those shops are, you can actually deduce what their signs say. And that gives you a huge head start for figuring out the language. But so I really like this idea of figuring out language from small pieces scattered around that you can deduce just through their context. So I wanted to create something like that when I made Fuzz. But first, I had to redesign the entire alphabet, because not only because, like before, I didn't want people to be able to just use an existing guide, I also needed to actually make it fit nicely in the sprite sheet I have, because 𝗥𝗀𝘅 sprites are 8x8, so if I did 5x5 sprites, those would bleed over edges and cause all sorts of problems. So 4x4 was really the solution here. But it would be silly to make a whole language and then not use it for anything cool, so I made one core puzzle in the game built around it. So you can see this big image at the top right here has a phrase the player needs to needs to translate to be able to actually solve the puzzle. So then throughout the rest of the world, I came up with these 3 other phrases that are based off of their specific contexts that you can just deduce each of them individually, and combining all of them together, you can translate this big sentence and solve the puzzle. I'm really happy with how this came out. Yeah, so next on to aesthetics and secrets. So there's a lot of details that you have to go into just to make it real. These are just all the details I put in to make it like extra fezzy. Like, for example, I added dot in a simplified manner. You can see there's still a hypercube, but not nearly as fancy of a one. 𝗀𝗂𝘅's rendering is definitely limited. But since Gomez is kind of a silent protagonist, this is really important to be able to have someone able to explain things and talk to the player. So dot was a key role for that. I also wanted to make the world look like FEZ's world, and one of the easiest ways to do that is to recreate the skies of FEZ. Now, the clouds, you can see in that image on the left, have this very distinctive, like, rounded rectangle look, and so I was able to just get a simplified version of that going that actually reacts as you rotate the world too. And I also made sure to have all the levels have distinct sky and cloud colors, so they all look extra visually distinct. Some more extra details, butterflies, because FEZ's world is jam-packed with cute little critters that are crawling around, just make it feel very lively, even though it's such an open, empty world in some ways. I did not have the sprite sheet space to make anything very fancy in terms of critters, but I was able to squeeze this little 8x4 section to make a little tiny butterfly with 2-frame animation, and these actually are used in one of the puzzles, so good, efficient use of things. FEZ has the habit of having multiple sort of endings, and like based on how much stuff you find. And of course, I needed to recreate that too. So the first image you see there is the lame ending if you don't get everything. But if you do track down some extra hidden stuff, you can get this very fancy one on the right. I also had to do all the audio myself. There were about 40 sounds I made for the game, trying to recreate things from the original FEZ as closely as I could. I also ended up making 3 songs for it. Now, I am no way compared to 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅, but I did what I could. I just listened to a lot of the FEZ soundtrack, and it was just sort of trying to capture the vibes within the limitations of 𝗀𝗂𝘅's own sound font. Also, it wouldn't be FEZ without something like the iconic fake out. Like when you first get the FEZ, the whole game pretends to reboot. So I knew I really wanted to have something like that. And it just so turns out that 𝗀𝗂𝘅 has a very distinctive boot up sequence with a little like jingle sound, which of course you can't hear here. And I realized I could recreate that. Like it's almost entirely just text. I just need to squeeze in like the 𝗀𝗂𝘅 logo and then also the little symbol for it. And this, you can see the symbol there is actually buried in the floor of one of the levels. You just wouldn't ever see it in gameplay. But yeah, with these combined, I was able to make a decently convincing recreation. So you get this certain item in the game, it looks like it glitches out, and then it reboots. And then it does this little bit where it says run, which is the command in 𝗀𝗂𝘅 to run a file. And so that's how you resume the game. But yeah, so it's a fun little Easter egg to put in there. But yeah, so that's my talk. Thanks for listening. Okay, well, not quite yet. It wouldn't be FEZ without one final secret. So I don't know if you've ever played FEZ, you may or may not have seen this image, or you've played FUZZ. I know some players definitely have not seen this before. So let's get into how do you find this? So FEZ has the heart cubes, which I barely know anything about these things. I found 1 or maybe 2 in my run because I've been avoiding like looking things up too much. But they're just kind of fascinating to just stumble across these things. And on top of that, I realized I had almost entirely untouched the tile map in FUZZ, which meant I could just straight up write something in there that could be a clue for a puzzle. And then I realized, all right, so if I want to make a heart cube, I don't have enough space to draw that into the sprite sheet, but I could just recolor an anti-cube, and with a stealthy extra hidden sprite, I can draw that on top of it and create the illusion of a heart cube. So yeah, there's a heart cube you can find in FUZZ. Yeah, thanks for listening. Like I said before, I'm just Civ. Find my stuff on my Twitter or my itch. And also, if you want to see a longer form version of this talk that goes into much more technical depth and stuff, I have a whole write-up on my website. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, I can answer.
Wow.
It was amazing. I didn't expect. Well, all right. That was really cool.
I'd clap, but I feel like it would be weird in voice chat. So just bigger, huge
Yeah.
presentation, and I definitely need to play that game. Holy shit.
Yeah, big shadow.
I did try to not like actually spoil anything outright for it.
Yeah, like I skipped. I tapped out of presentation sometimes to not spoil myself. But I feel like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
But yeah, does anyone have any questions? I can answer stuff, or we can move on to something
What's your
else.
favorite Burger King item?
I haven't been to Burger King much ever. Like I've been only a handful of times. I don't know.
Do
Would
put the
you,
milk
or even
before or after the cereal?
Hmm?
Yeah, milk.
Do you put the milk before or after the
I
cereal?
put milk after cereal.
Good.
All right.
would you develop another game in 𝗥𝗀𝘅, or was it like a one-time and then
Oh,
never again
I have
experience?
like I think I have over a dozen games in 𝗥𝗀𝘅.
Wow. Okay.
I have
Crazy.
I churn them out about like 2 a year. My most recent one was a game for the winter solstice this past year.
Right.
Spirit solstice. Yeah.
We're a bit late, so we'll shift to a big thing that we have is FEZ Club. Well, I don't know if I don't know if anybody has an idea of what this is. I mean, I've leaked some stuff. But right, so for those who don't know, we have made a fan game. A small fan game for FEZ, which is multiplayer actually. So we'll test it on stream with you. Well, I said we, but it's mostly hold on, I'll get this. 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, right? I hope I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so we made a multiplayer fan game of FEZ. Mostly it doesn't really. Yeah, it's a find the cubes. They are hidden, and there is some puzzle, but it's not really that. It's not really about the puzzle. It's more about you can hear the sound. It's more about playing together. So I'll put that in small. So I need to connect before because there is a limit of 20 spots. Oh man, there is so many people. All right. Well, so that's what we made. We can see, you can see that there is a lot of small little details. So yeah, it's FEZ multiplayer. You can actually, you can actually change your hat if you want to, because I see a lot of default skin. Yeah, you can in the settings change your hat. I'll go into yellow, but right. So there is a lot of different stuff you can do in this game. So first and foremost, it's a walking FEZ game, and you have to find some small little cubes that are hidden all around the map. I don't want to reveal everything, but there is some puzzle. For example, there's this one. There is this platforming section where you have to find the right box to actually be able to continue. It's really fun. It's really fun to see everybody playing around. Okay. Oh shit. So the music was made by Balancing Electrons, the game system was made by 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅, and I made the level design. Oh. Don't need that. Oh. I can just... Oh, can I? Please? Fine. Alright. So there is 8 cubes, there is 2 end of section cube, 2 puzzle cube, and there is 4 other ones that are hidden around the map. For example, there is one here.
Is there a download, or do we have to play this in HD?
You can play it on itch.io as it's on stream, but there will have download, I think. Not sure. Yeah, we did that in a week, but to be honest, we also use the fan game he already made from FEZ, which I already talked about. Yeah, I'll wait for you guys to go up. So you have to use a mushroom platform. And then on this section you can go here. It's actually really fun to see all of you jumping around. Okay. Well, how many people are there? Because there is a limit of 20 people, so I'm not sure that I'm not revealing the secret of the puzzle cubes. Alright, I'll wait for some. So that says hard section. It says hard section because the white tower is a hard section, so beware before trying it. There is also this little cube that you can get quite easily. Oh. Oh. There's people revealing the puzzle already. Pretend I didn't see anything. Alright, so this is the hard section. So you have to shift the camera mid-air to actually be able to, like that, pass through. Alright, I slipped through the wall, but okay. If I can make it. I mean, I did build this section, but I should be able to make it. Alright. So this... Oh yeah, that people who made it. Bro. So actually, you can see that the yellow blocks are a bit further to the left. So that means that if you jump in front of them and shift your perspective, you actually be a bit farther to the left, and then you can go into the platform, like that. Yeah, there is some difficult platforming here. Oh, there is people already. Not crazy how with the blue skin and the red hat. Yeah, on top, yeah. Yeah, so... I really tried to use the different mechanics from FEZ to do a hard platform. Yay! Look, there is one person who made it. Oh. No. All right. Oh. No. I jumped down. All the speedrun tech is coming out. Yeah, we're waiting for your speedruns. Yeah. To be honest, we didn't have really that much time to finish everything we wanted to, but you know, for a whole week it's actually quite good, I think. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, so anytime you like, you can launch this game with some friends and actually play it. And do maybe a speedrunning competition in multiplayer. I have no idea how long the server will be on. I'm hoping it will stay a bit. Right, so should I give a hint for the puzzle one? Yeah, I mean, it's a free license, so for now the server will be on. But if you need to use the service provider we used later. Alright. Well, there is a 20% limit though. Alright. So should I give a hint to the puzzle or not? I mean, they are not really that complicated. In the Discord, should I give a hint or not?
Oh, it just says GG at the top.
Yeah, it said GG at the top, yeah.
Or an SS.
I believe it's GG. No hint. Alright. I will not give any hints on how to get the last 2 cubes then. Yeah, but maybe we can do a big screenshot. Yeah, just gonna earn it. Well, it's not by guessing, I give you that. There is way to know where and how to get to those other 2 little cubes. Let's do a group photo on the start. Let's take a group picture, so either you can just be here or you can also respawn if you want to. I believe it's fixed, right, Chris? I hope. Right, yeah. Alright, let's do a group picture. And wait for everybody to come here.
Where is here?
It's in the main hub, so you can respawn or just
Okay.
Is everybody here? Well, let's take a picture. Alright, I've taken a picture. Publish it on Discord. Alright, well, anytime you would like, you can show your friend what FEZ is like and play together. This is really cute. This one is really good. Right. So well, that was FEZ Club. We did that in a few days and it was really challenging. Thanks a lot for 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅. Well, have fun guys. I'm switching into the next segment of the stream, but this will be online for quite a while, so yeah, you can share it. And for now, I'll go into another segment. Alright, so actually there is only one segment left. and that is the speedrunning segment. Yeah. Well, I've contacted the artist, FEZ, right? I think. Right, I've contacted him to do a little speedrun because you're a speedrunner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super happy to be invited. Yeah, I am 𝗀𝗏𝘅, and I do FEZ speedrunning. Let me share my screen in just a moment. I need to restart the game.
Did you speedrun any other game than FEZ?
Yeah, I do a few other games. I've been doing Superliminal recently. That one's pretty fun. There's a tournament going on right now.
Really?
Which I've been. Yeah, there's a speedrunning tournament. I have already been eliminated, sadly, but they're still going on. We're getting into the last few matches, and have been getting pretty competitive.
Oh, all right.
And I do a few more. I do a few more games, but FEZ is my biggest one, and today it's FEZ is what today is about.
Yeah. So actually, you will do a 209.4% run right after this stream, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do that. I had, for the 10th anniversary, I wanted to go big. I was like, I'll do all 209.4%, but that takes like an hour and 20 minutes, so don't want to take up that much time here.
There will be FEZ spoilers, everyone. So if you are if you don't know the game and you don't want it to be spoiled,
because
once you see something you don't recognize.
Yeah. So yeah, I will not be doing all 209.4% right now.
You will do only any percent, so you'll just do the normal regular ending, right?
Yep. I'll be getting 32 cubes and beating the game. So.
All right. What's the main difference between FEZ and the other game that you speedrun?
Oh yeah, Superliminal is it's a first-person puzzle game, right? So instead of being a third person, or I guess 2D kind of /3D game where you rotate perspective, it's totally first person, and movement is very different. So in a speedrunning sense, it's a very different game.
Yeah, but I was thinking about the route. Do you create your own route for FEZ?
Do I create my own what for FEZ? Sorry.
Route, the way that you're achieving your goal.
Oh,
route.
Yeah. So I haven't really done very much in the way of making a route for this game. The route has been basically like totally set for the past 5 years. No one's really found any big improvements. There are small improvements here and there, like within the individual rooms, but for the way the game goes from start to finish, we get all the same cubes in the same order, and we have for the past 5 years.
Right. Okay. And last question. So you will do like some combination inputs to get some anti-cube that are easy to get.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I will.
Right. So I guess it doesn't really spoil that much,
Yeah.
I mean, it spoils the ending. It spoils the ending, of course. So regular.
It spoils the ending.
Yeah. All right.
So if you haven't finished the game or haven't at least beaten it, you will get spoiled. But even if you have done everything and completed it, I still might do some things that you've never seen, unless you've watched speedruns before. There are some interesting movement techniques that you can use in this game by abusing the physics and the rotation perspectives in ways that you weren't supposed to, that I can use to get through some levels faster. So even if you've seen the game, I think that there's some interesting stuff. There's probably some interesting stuff here.
Really excited.
Interesting stuff for everyone.
Will you be able to talk while you speedrun?
Oh yeah, I'll do my best to commentate.
It will not be a world record, so
yeah.
I am not expecting a world record today. I am not the world record holder, by the way. I'm currently in third place.
Yeah, I think you are, but I've contacted the 201, but you're the only one who has a rich online presence to that. And yeah.
But yeah, I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy to be the one to show off the actual gameplay of FEZ for the 10-year anniversary. It's a big honor.
Actual gameplay.
Yeah, as on the same stream as Disaster Piece, as Rich Freeland. Like, I feel like I've made it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely.
Well, good luck with your speedrun. We'll be watching.
Yeah, and absolutely, and the people who are in the call, feel free to make comments and ask questions and talk. So I'm not the only one talking into the void
Do you have
here.
milk before or after cereal?
Yeah, do you put your milk before?
Similar. I don't eat cereal very often, but I'm a cereal first person when I have it.
Yeah.
Good.
I believe there is more people actually that put the milk after.
Yeah, milk after is the correct play.
Yeah, I will not enter into this debate. Alright, so when you're ready, well, go.
Yeah, I'm ready. So, first of all, maybe not everybody knows this, but the game actually has a built-in speedrunning mode, at least on PC.
There's Sonic.
And yeah, the way to access this is by adding the launch parameter --𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗲𝘂𝘅 fast. Because, that's pretty good, right?
Excellent.
This is built into the game starting from the latest version 1.12. So that's already something that you might not have known. But yeah, so this game has an in-game timer, which we use to time our runs, which was added by the developers because basically the speedrunning team kind of was the QA team for this most recent build. And so as kind of a thank you, they added this mode.
Yeah, I believe FEZ 2 did add a speedrunning mode.
Yes, FEZ also has speedrun mode in it.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so
sadly,
I'm just gonna...
sadly I don't think FEZ Club has one.
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This game has, some cutscene at the beginning, so we'll still have time to talk. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh yeah, I can see
So yeah, you can see a little timer in the top right corner. That's the actual built-in timer. So
I wonder if there's a way to get into the in-game number system.
that'd be pretty funny.
Seeing those
It's
numbers
just a
tick
simple
by,
palette.
cool.
It should be a relatively simple text, image replacement.
Yeah, probably
so
in the
in
fun
theory,
file.
it's
I might be able
possible.
to find actually. I would dig through the files.
It's in one nice file. I've seen the file itself, so you could easily just replace the texture, assuming there's a way to unpack and then repack the file, which I bet there is.
Oh, easily. In fact, I think the one I use, it can repack things, so...
Yeah, sick. So there you go. Alright, so here's the first village climb.
Oh, so you're not taking the mailbox.
Yeah, so you can see I'm not going to the mailbox, as lovely as that letter was, that's not why we're here, right? We're just gonna go straight to the top.
Yeah.
And yes, I'll be running any percent
for
the category. What is cheese? That's a good question. It's whatever you want it to be.
It's the universe. It's dot.
It's not
universal seasoning.
Yeah, so there's really not too much to say here for this beginning, especially because I'm assuming that most people here are, familiar with FEZ, so I don't need to explain the whole main game mechanic and, cubes, how you need to collect cubes.
Who is Gomez?
Who is Gomez? That's, that's a big question that we still ask to this day. But yeah, we play as this little guy Gomez. You can rotate once you get the FEZ, you pick up cubes, and that's the game. But yeah, like I said, I at least hope that even the people who are familiar with this game, who haven't seen anything speedrun related, will get to see something new in this run, because there's a lot of rooms in this game with perspective, where you can abuse it in a way that you can get through the room faster, and it's very interesting.
I actually already have a question, like on the climb.
Yeah, what's the question?
In the first part, you were insanely fast to my eyes, but there was a part when you climbed up those green things. I'm missing the English word. Vines,
the vines.
And you held on for a minute, for a moment there.
That,
Did I get that right?
That's a
What's the purpose
mistake.
of that?
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
That's a mistake. I pressed the jump button too early, and the jump didn't come out. And then I did the same thing.
All
Are you
right.
using controller or keyboard?
I play this game on a controller.
Yeah.
You can see
that's
the
best
controller
way.
button prompts at some point. They might say like press A or
Yeah.
Oh,
right there, press A
Oh,
to
yeah.
start. So I'm playing on a controller.
I prefer controller as well. It's much easier.
Yeah, Mario 𝗥𝗲𝘂𝘅. I actually saw you left a comment on one of my videos yesterday, so I don't know if you're talking about the speedrun that I was just doing, but... Alright, so right off the bat, we're going to use the achievement code, which, spoiler alert, there's a code that you can get an anti-cube. And so we have not even talked to Dot yet, well here she is, but we don't even know about cubes yet, but we already got a cube because it's a speedrun, and in a speedrun, we know everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and actually the fact that we have this cube already is gonna let us do another trick coming up pretty shortly. And sorry to Dot fans, we're skipping all of the text right now. We skip everything in this game that we can because it's a speedrun.
The Dot fan club.
How it's got to be. So right off the bat, I'm just gonna die in front of this door, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna open up the door ahead of time, so later I can go get it. And I don't need to sit in front of the cube animation. Or, sorry, the door animation.
Instant.
Yeah. So, this game takes a lot of practice. There's a lot of codes that you need to enter. And for the speedrun, you want to enter them fast as possible. So there's a lot of memorization that comes into play and muscle memory. And it's really more muscle memory. Sometimes I don't even know what the cubes are or what the codes are. I just kind of let my fingers do it. But, yeah. There was very recently a trick discovered where if you collect this map before collecting the cube, it's actually a little bit faster because you collect the map and the cube at the same time, but the animation is done before it could ever be done normally. So very small time save that was found recently. Shout out to 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅 in the chat for discovering that. All right, so right here you can see that this is not what this would normally look like. I'm sort of behind the level.
Yeah.
Because there's a trick in this game called perspective teleportation, which it's very hard to explain in a very short amount of time. You kind of have to sit there and break it down, which maybe I could do that after the run if you want to see it. But basically, if 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅 is sandwiched in between two walls and then you do a rotation, it will teleport him to basically the back of the level, behind all of the walls. And what that means is you can teleport to, so what I was doing there is I was teleporting to like the next block ahead in that tower climb without actually needing to walk over to it. So it's just a little bit faster than climbing normally. And perspective teleportations are used all throughout this game, and you're going to see it used in this very next room, which is a pretty tricky room. But this bell tower climb, you're going to see this is not what a normal bell tower climb looks like.
What the?
Already you've broken my brain.
Boom. Boom. So that might not be what you thought I would do, but yeah. That's perspective teleportation, and it's really cool. So now, of course, I'm going to ring this bell. Spoiler alert, you can get an anti-cube from this bell. I'm going to be spoiling a lot of stuff, as we already said, so... Hopefully anyone who doesn't want to hear spoilers is already gone by now, because we already gave...
Yeah. I mean...
The fact you were behind the bell when you did that, like 𝗀𝗲𝘂𝘅 was just pulling the bell up with his immense strength.
Turns out the game does not care whether or not you are in front of or behind the bell when you ring it. It will let you ring it anyway. Alright, here I'd use a little bit more weird perspective stuff.
What the?
To skip needing to use the bomb to blow up the little area. We don't care about doing that. So with this puzzle, I throw that cube at the other cube and then just rotate away and back. And if you were looking really carefully, you might notice that after I did those two rotations, it caused one of those boxes to move into a different position for some reason. I don't know why that happens, but you can actually complete that puzzle a little faster by doing that.
It took me ages. You just did that in like 3 seconds.
Yep.
What the? There's so many cool stuff in that speedrun.
So something that I've been doing, but I haven't been talking about yet, are these little corner jumps. So there's an intended mechanic in this game called the corner jump, where when you grab onto a corner, if you're holding away from the corner and you do a jump, you'll jump away from the corner at a high speed. You're supposed to be able to do that. It's just, 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃 jumps off of the corner. But it turns out the game doesn't check which direction to send you until a few frames after you've started the corner jump. And so you can actually change the position or the direction that the game will send you by initiating the corner jump and very quickly changing which direction you're holding. And I do that all throughout the run to basically when I grab a corner and then I just sort of pop straight up. That's because I let go of the direction entirely, so the game doesn't send me to the left or the right. This room is quite challenging, by the way, so I'm just going to stop what I'm saying for just a second. See, that little ledge get-up animation is something I wanted to avoid. I wanted to do a reverse corner jump, which is one of those things I was just talking about. I wanted to do another one there. Alright, but right here, I'm about to do a fall cancel. So what I just did is I fell to my death in front of a door, and then pressed up to open the door. And it turns out that that causes you to just get up and go through the door, even though you're supposed to be dead. You can just get up, it's no problem.
That's so cool.
Now I'm going to enter in a few codes. I think I might have missed one. Oh no, I got them both. But the camera was a little weird. So I'm lowering the water, so that way I can do a few cubes later. I didn't want to fall down. Oh no, it's all coming apart.
Oh.
Better restart the run.
Yeah, reset. No, just kidding. I'm playing it out. So, yeah. Now here's a pretty interesting strat. I can jump up here, and that sort of teleports 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃 to the sort of front of the waterfall area, and then I can rotate immediately and throw the bomb at this door. Then I can go pick up another cube bit while the bomb is exploding, so that way I don't need to wait as much.
Well, you got...
Right there, I picked up 2 cubes at the same time. Sorry, was there a question?
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to explain in this game in a very short amount of time. So I'm sorry if I'm rushing. It's because I realize that as I'm explaining one thing, I'm already on to the next trick that I want to explain.
You're too fast for your own good.
Yeah. So this room is on a big cycle, right? So these platforms in this sync room are all based on the music. And in order to get the fastest cycle, you have to play quite well. So a lot of this doesn't matter, but coming up right now, this is the hard part. Oh, I already messed it up, unfortunately. If I had gotten it, see that platform right there? I could have just barely jumped to it like that. If I did that section basically perfectly, and that would have let me skip a cycle. That trick is called zero cycle, and it's one of the things that I've practiced a good amount. You gotta practice pretty hard to get good at that. And as you can see, I'm still not consistent at it. But just imagine I got it, it would have been so cool, right? Of course.
Definitely. How long have you been speedrunning this game?
I've been speedrunning this game since about September, for a few months. Yeah, this game doesn't have that many speedrunners. There's only like, well, I mean, compared to some big games, right? There's about 34 people on the leaderboard, I believe. And if anyone's interested in playing this game, so I didn't start speedrunning until I had played this game casually like 6 times or something. Like I had gotten all 209.4% a lot of times, and I was like, what else can I do like to extend my time playing this game? And so if you're in a similar situation, you just want to play the game more, but you know, you've been doing the same thing too much, consider speedrunning, because that's how I started. Alright, so right off the bat, this arch section starts with a pretty tricky jump. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, I got it first try. That jump can just be really finicky, and sometimes it'll put 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝘅 behind the level instead of in front of the level. And It's very precise. I think it's basically if you're off by 1 frame, it'll do the wrong thing. So you have to like time it pretty well.
What's the average time for an any percent run?
Average time, I'd say probably about 30 minutes. The world record is a 26:43. And my personal best is a 27:43. I'm actually exactly 1 minute behind the world record.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, and that 1 minute is really hard to make up. The 2 players who are ahead of me are so good. Like, I'm behind them by quite a lot. But yeah, so if you want to start off, you know, maybe make your first goal, you know, about a 30-minute run. And, you know, it took me a few weeks to get there from starting off, but... So this arch section has a lot of really tricky jumps. And if you're really, really good, there's a cycle at the top. So you can see those sort of oscillating platforms that are sort of just going up and down, these ones. If you are really, really good, you can make it here right in time for them to be like lined up a cycle earlier than I just did. And so that saves like 6 seconds because of the way those move slowly. And there's basically 1 person alive who can do that. That's the world record holder. So like, people have gotten quite good at this game.
Yeah.
It's got the world record in 0% though. That's pretty cool.
I do have the world record in 0%, and a lot of the other smaller categories that don't matter as much, I have the world record in actually all of them.
Oh, you've got the only one in New Game Plus. That's
New
cool.
Game Plus, I'm the only one, so someone please come take that record from me. That run is actually terrible, and it's a world record technically, so... yeah, a lot of the smaller categories don't have as many runners, but there's still some really fun categories, so...
If I was actually competent with my hand-eye coordination, I'd probably try speedrunning, but I can barely do a casual run, so...
Yeah. I mean, your first speedrun doesn't have to be, you know, world record level, right? I've submitted some runs that are really bad on the leaderboard of, like, some games. Like, my first FEZ run that I did would be currently, I think, 32nd place or something. My first ever run, right?
Last.
Yeah, so, yeah, it wasn't quite last. But, yeah, my first run was not good, but that didn't stop me from submitting it. And it didn't stop me from trying the game. And, you know, once I did it, I practiced it some more, and, you know.
Wait, you got a map? What's the use of
So, that's a good question. Why did I just get a map? I'm a speedrunner. I already know all the maps, right? I don't need the maps to tell me anything. Well, that map has a QR code on it. And it turns out that that QR code helps you spawn an anti-cube, and the game will not let you spawn the anti-cube unless you have the map, right? Which makes sense, right? The map tells you how to get it. You should not be able to get it without the map. So I get that map just so that later I can spawn the anti-cube that that map tells us about.
Alright.
And you'll see that come out relatively soon. So this puzzle took me a very long time in my casual playthrough, you know, and here we found a pretty good route to just destroy it in a few seconds. So that's how a lot of speedrunning this game works.
What's the difference between any percent and true any percent?
So true any percent allows you to do a glitch that duplicates cubes over and over and over in an older version of the game. It's very broken. You basically can just sit there and let it rack up infinite cubes. And so true any percent, you basically start up the game, get to that spot as fast as possible, and then duplicate cubes until you have enough.
That sounds like a speedrun I'd like to do.
Yeah, it's pretty silly, but it requires using an older version of the game because it was patched in this version.
Shame.
So here's an interesting thing. So I just left that room and went back into it. Turns out this game has a few shared cubes, where any cube that has a QR code as part of the puzzle, there's actually another cube somewhere else that is the same puzzle, but that doesn't use a QR code. And so that wall, that room with the QR code in the wall, is actually the same puzzle as the monocle room in Village, right? The room with the painting with all the guys with the monocles. It's technically the same cube. And so you're only supposed to be able to get it in one place instead of in both places. But by leaving and re-entering, I don't know why, it means that you can collect it in both places. So I kind of got, in a sense, the same cube twice as part of the speedrun.
Of course. Makes
So-
sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you can
Definitely be
get
brain
more.
enough to understand that.
Can you get more than 64 cubes then by that?
Yeah, so, and in fact, I did that in my casual playthrough. If I rotate in the air and then I do a corner jump, that strat was also discovered very recently. But yeah, even in my casual playthrough, I got 33 anti-cubes because like I went in and out of that room at some point and got the cube from it. And I was like, how do I have 33 anti-cubes? It doesn't make sense.
How does it come up in the menu then? Is there like an extra cube or does it just not appear at all?
No, it still acts as if it's 32.
Oh, right.
That's not even in an older version, Dango 360. That's in this version. That is the most recent version. That bug is still there. And I think that they knew about it, but opted not to fix it because it would change the speedrun route too much. I don't know.
I'm just enjoying it.
So this room, I messed up a little bit. You want to be able to enter this code in during the Gomez like ledge get up animation, because that saves you from needing to sit through any rotations. I haven't actually mentioned this yet, but rotations, they sort of pause the in-game, like the world clock just a little bit, right? So when you're rotating, the game is kind of paused. And so that takes up extra time. So as much as possible, you want to avoid rotating extra times, because otherwise, you know, you have to wait through animations longer or whatever.
Yeah, and I saw you entering a code during you getting a cube.
Yep, yeah, you saw that. That happened a little bit earlier in the tree section. I had gotten 8 bits, and during that animation, I spawned another cube. That was a good eye. I actually forgot to talk about that because I think we were talking about something else. But yeah, I'm entering the last main section of this speedrun, this lighthouse area.
Beacon!
Yeah, beacons. This whole game's soundtrack is so good, by the way. Just in case anyone didn't know that, but I'm sure everyone here already knows. Alright, so while this door is opening, I just entered in a cube. You could hear it spawning. So since I was able to open it, or enter that animation while it's opening, now the cube is already there, and you can just go get it.
Do these black holes sometimes destroy your runs?
So black holes are basically, yeah, like the only RNG element of the whole game, for the most part. There's some other very small ones, but there's really only one spot where I can think of black holes like destroying a run at a top level. They do make it inconvenient sometimes. Like in this room, it does not matter at all. You don't go where the black holes are. There are a few rooms. What am I doing? There are a few rooms where if black holes spawn, you need to sort of maneuver around them, meaning you lose like, you know, a few seconds. And there's one section close to the beginning where if you get black holes, you have to just leave the room and go back in and hope it won't be there the second time, because like the black holes completely prevent you from doing the speed strat.
Yeah.
But for the most part, usually they just, you know, either don't matter or just make you lose a few seconds. Like nothing huge. So yeah, here's another weird perspective thing. I'm supposed to pivot that thing down at the bottom, but I can do a perspective teleportation to just teleport Gomez over to where these ladders are. Right, so just stuff like that all throughout this game really cuts off a lot of time. Once again here, I'm supposed to line up these ladders, but I can jump up, do a perspective rotation, and now I can get on these other ladders by just moving a little bit in front of the wall, so it prevents me from needing to rotate those ladders. And of course, in a speedrun, we already know where all the invisible platforms are, so I'm just gonna use the invisible platforms.
They're only there if you don't rotate the ladder, right?
Yeah, you have to be looking at the correct rotation. But in the speedrun, we already know which orientation the platforms are at. So kind of funny, you know how I mentioned earlier that I was gonna spawn a cube with the map earlier? I actually totally forgot to do it in the normal spot. So I didn't even think of it until right now, but there's a backup spot where I can do it, and that backup spot is right here. You can see there's a cube. I got this cube from the QR code map. That's what that is.
By the way, the light glitch, and it's turning the sky either day or night. Is that a glitch or not? Because I seen it too.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure that's
I think it's
intended.
intended.
Yeah, that's
I think
part of
it's
the
meant to
game.
be like
Alright.
lightnings.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's lighting.
Yeah, it's light. I think it's more like the space in this area is collapsing kind of thing.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, because everything is flat, flickering and flashing.
Yeah, it's not lightning because it's not making that much sound. It's like
Oh, fair, yeah.
yeah,
Cosmic
it's
lightning.
you can see that it literally switches from being raining and nighttime to just being day. So pretty sure that place it's totally intentional that everything is flickering.
Yeah.
All right, so we are almost done with the run here.
Yeah.
I have 31 cubes, and the only thing I'm missing is a single bit in order to have 32. Let me know if you see a bit. Point it out in the chat. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
I got it. And now I have 32 cubes. And it's funny, Dot tells you, you can now go in that door that needs 32 cubes, even though she doesn't even know about the door. Now I get here and she tells me, whoa, it's a door requires 32 cubes? How does she know? I don't know. But yeah. This is the end. Once I walk through this Minecraft. Okay. And yeah, once I walk through the other side of this warp gate,
Oh, what?
there's the moon, and I'll be done.
Why is the warp gate? Why is
Oh,
the
why
warp...
does it look glitchy?
Yeah.
I think that's an actual glitch. It's not supposed to be like that.
Alright. You know.
Yeah,
and
that's an actual glitch.
that in some older versions of the game it looks normal, so that was introduced at some point. Alright, now this is the final area in the game. This is, of course, the moon. And the tricky thing for the speedrun about this is that this area has low gravity. And so compared to anything else in the rest of the game, movement here is a little different. So in order to get good at this room, you really have to practice just this room over and over. And since some things are slower, such as rotations, rotating it and turning is super slow. And so we want to make it through this entire room without turning at all. And if you do it basically perfectly, then you can make it to the top and enter that little spinning door thing without needing to rotate. It's pretty tricky, but if you can get it, it's called turnless, of course. And that's what I'm going to go for right now.
Does the speedrun end at the end of the cutscene or the end of you get into the top of the room?
It's at the end of the cutscene, or at the end of the other room. You'll see it.
Come on, come
That
on,
looked
come on.
pretty good. Oh, I jumped a little high there. Can I still get it? Oh, I missed it right at the end. See, you really have to make sure that you jump as low as possible in some of these areas. So a little disappointing. I thought I was going to be able to get it, but right at the end I jumped a little too high. So, but
It's
that's
fine, it's fine. It's still impressive.
yeah.
It's really impressive.
That is FEZ. Time doesn't end yet. Yeah, it ends at the other side of the other room. And when I get there, time ends when I walk out the door. You can see here, filling up the 𝗥𝗲𝘂𝘅 with the cubes.
With more haunting cubes than actual cubes.
Yeah. So in this game, so you might notice in this speedrun, I only visited 2 hub areas. I visited the first hub, the nature hub, and I visited the second hub, the zoo. Those are the only 2 hubs I visited in the entire game. I did not go to industrial. I did not go to graveyard. I did not go to the sewers. Right?
Oh,
There's
graveyard's-
enough cubes in just those two, and so that speeds things up a lot from not needing to go to all these other places.
So when does time end?
It ends the moment I walk through the door. So you'll see it's gonna end pretty soon.
Alright.
Oh, you're a few seconds off beating your time.
Yeah, my personal best is a 27:43. So I did not set a new personal best, which does not surprise me. But bam, 27:56. I got a 27-minute run, which that's pretty hard. Not that many people have gotten a 27-minute run, so I will say
place.
Very happy with pulling off a 27 live today. So
well done.
Yeah.
And answering questions from people like
Yeah,
us.
we got questions. We got questions.
How can
and
you get so good in such a short amount of time?
Well, I mean, it wasn't that. It was several months, right? You should see my first. You should see my first run.
Speedrunners play the game a lot to play very little.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's the apt way of pushing it.
It's true. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Thousands of hours into one game to play the game in like a few minutes.
Yep, that's kind of the ironic, part about speedrunning. But yeah,
And
it's
I
kind
don't
of true.
mean to be. I don't mean to be saying it in like a bad way.
No, I know you're not. That's just kind of how it is, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. I really appreciate it.
You're insane, mate. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Insane in a good way. No, I'm not insulting you.
What? Are you calling me Jeez. Why did I accept this invitation? Oh my goodness. And yeah, now of course, if we want to switch to the next segment, we can. Or
I mean, that knows next
watch
segment. There is the credits.
Yeah.
I have a few more questions, I think.
And we can watch the best ending cutscene of all time right here.
Yeah.
I don't know, the Portal 2
best
one was
music.
pretty good. Portal 1 and Portal 2 are pretty good ones with the songs.
Those are also pretty good. But
I love
nice.
the contrast between the 32 ending and the 64 ending.
Yeah, me too.
It's so good.
Please don't spoil the for 64.
Honestly, the 32 cube ending is so much better if you ask me. Like, not gonna lie.
I thought I was having a drug trip when I did much shit.
They both explain so much, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, DNA is made of cubes. Oh.
Everything it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, and everything's destroying, right?
And we got the Tetraminos.
Because we had the X, Y, and Z, and now we're past that.
Yeah, and then we got how it's called already, the
Tetraminos.
No, how it's called? The playing distance, like the smaller distance possible. We'll get right now, like the
and then this one
the
it's
web
all,
of the universe
shaking.
Yeah,
it's just like
is that string theory? Oh.
Yeah, and it's some kind of quantum physics, Oh yeah, and then this of course destroys the bit rate if you're recording, right?
Oh yeah.
Streaming, you look at the stream quality, it just went down a little bit because of this. But
it's fine.
That's how it goes.
Well, a nice drum solo.
Best drum solo in a game ever.
How sick are you
Well,
of this outro after
with
playing
that
the game for
nice
so
solo, I'll switch to the next segment.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I don't know why I'm amazed, but I am amazed just how many people came and stuff.
All right, well,
an amazing community.
It's actually over now. The stream is over, so I'll put on the same music as a credit, but then I'll stop watching you. Output adventure and end the stream on the credits for everybody that helped me and the community to make this stream possible. So yeah, we'll start with the fan art. In order, it was 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃𝘀𝗃, Alex, Balancing Electron, Crowboy, Cypooos, GTSF, 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝗃𝘅, Mario 𝗥𝗲𝘰𝗰𝗂𝘅, Onion Dog, Orange Cream Soda, Plantix, Premium, Red Luminous, 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃𝘅, ZipZip, 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃, and 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃. Then after we'll switch to music with the live cover in the piano of Home by 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃, with the flow cover in piano but not live by Zef Pirasotto, the Beacon cover in acoustic guitar by David Chan Baker, and the big medley with bunch of songs that lasted 10 minutes by Arson. And of course, I need to thank Discursif for joining us for the interview. I'll switch to fan games. Well, FaceMaker, I do not know who made it, but it's on the FaceMaker Facebook page if you want to check a look. 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃𝘅 did the FEZ fan game, which is an amazing game that have both portal mechanic and FEZ mechanic, and the FEZ game with the presentation by 𝗀𝗲𝘰𝗰𝗂𝘅 was amazing. A nice 𝗥𝗲𝘀𝗃𝗅 remake of FEZ. And of course FEZ Club, which was kind of a big thing for me at least, because I did the level design, but the programming and VFX was done by 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗅, which took the FEZ tool he already made, and the hub music made also by Balancing Electrons. And other stuff, well, I did the stream, Cypooos from Discursif. The ending GIF that you can see of 𝗀𝗲𝘀𝗃𝗃𝘅 shaking his body parts were made by 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗅. I must thank everybody who participated in r/place, even if you were not on the stream. It was an amazing experience. I must thank everybody that joined the FEZ community project Discord server. You know, the game isn't dead, so we are still making stuff. I will need to thank the r/FEZ community too. I will need to thank 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗅, Discursif, and Fieldfish from Polytron for making FEZ. 𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗅, which is actually on our Discord server, and Discursif, which we interviewed today. And of course, I need to thank you for watching, and thanks a lot. Have a good night and sleep well.
Among Us.